Futures back to the downside here this morning, 0.6 right now for the NASDAQ, about 0.4 for the S&P as we look to get back heading in the right direction. Big move higher, obviously, on Monday. We'll look to extend some of those gains this morning coming up. Bit of a pullback here. We are seeing a huge bounce in crude oil, if you remember. When all was said and done yesterday, oil down more than 4.5%, up about 2.5%. Right now, a whole bunch of things moving around. We'll keep an eye on Boeing once again. If you missed it late in the session yesterday, another tank and another batch of heavy volume to the downside as we found more planes, more of these 737 MAX 9s with loose bolts on this plugged door. I was actually reading this morning a story suggesting that the only reason that door is plugged on those planes is because the seating configuration that they want to use with it doesn't align with the doors, so it doesn't even have to be the way that it is. So interesting story for Boeing. United with the same issue. We'll get into that coming up. Overall market coming off a monster day yesterday, led by semiconductors primarily to the upside right across the board. AMD, Nvidia, Intel all announcing new products at CES in Las Vegas. We'll touch on that coming up. Nvidia set to open at all-time highs once again here. So it was all about the Qs. It was all about the NASDAQ, S&P lagging a little bit here. We're keeping an eye on Bitcoin as well. Saw a note suggesting Valkyrie, their ETF set to launch as early as Wednesday for their spot Bitcoin ETF. So that's coming straight from them. So we'll see if anyone else follows suit on that. Lots to get to. It's Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, there's a look at, there's a look at Boeing down another 1% here this morning after the huge move yesterday. I mean, it wasn't a lot to trade kind of back and forth, but monster gap from where we ended Friday, and then we just kind of chopped around. Heavy selling late in the day. Again, if you missed it, more loose bolts found on doors in these 737 MAX 9 airplanes. United came out, said the same thing, 171 grounded by the FAA. Meanwhile, yeah, Bitcoin very volatile here this morning. Back to the upside right now. As I mentioned, I saw a note suggesting Valkyrie, an ETF company, going to operate a spot Bitcoin ETF, saying could be Wednesday, as early as Wednesday, that theirs gets going. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin moving around here big time in pre-market trading. Alaskan Airlines to watch, ALK, Boeing, and UAL. Once again. But as I mentioned there off the top, it was all about the semiconductors yesterday. Intel, AMD, Nvidia, all announcing new products at CES, continuing throughout the week in Las Vegas. So all-time highs for Nvidia when all is said and done. We're set to open once again at all-time highs. There's not much in the way of economic data this morning. We'll get to a few Fed speakers later in the day. Once again, had a few yesterday. Didn't really result to anything significant. Market didn't seem to care, just went straight up all day anyways. I mean, at this point, I think the story is known and known very well right across the board. Sharif off once again under the weather today, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, and it should be. I mean, look, if you were long yesterday, you definitely had a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night to any shorts that were out there. But there's a lot to look at today, because as mentioned, CES is starting. You had a weird move in crypto already once. It was like a $1,500 drop on Bitcoin and then recovery. So that volatility is going absolutely nowhere. Nvidia is up a point. It's going to be at fresh highs. We'll be looking at some ARM. Unity software did job cuts and was looking really strong, and it just made an interesting dip. So anyways, we'll see what happens with that one. We'll get into some individual names obviously shortly, but I got a dip in Unity. I was going to wait till the open, but then I saw no new news, and I saw it pick up pretty much in the afternoon support level. So like that one. Also, keep an eye out for not just your crypto names, but remember what happened to Boeing and Spirit. More bad news. Everyone by now knows the story, but shorting the pops and being patient with it worked yesterday. I'm still leaning bearish. Even if it gets recoveries, I probably am still looking for some shorts. And shout out to the Michigan Wolverines for battering my boy Michael Penix. I'm a fan of the kid, but he put up a good fight. But that wasn't much of a game.
Yeah, no, it was bad. Well, it was close for a while and then bad at the end. Yeah, look, Unity's on the sticky note here, so it's going to be a good idea. It did come in there. We did take some out when it broke through 39 because that's what happened. We're going to have to watch out for Unity. But look, I'm still pretty... I'm bullish on certain names. You're going to see those when I release, but the thing is like maybe this market today wants to head back down to the downside. So we're going to have to wait to see. It's down 0.7 at the bottom of the day right now. I'm still bullish here today, but again, it's going to be. I feel like it might be hard. We might be testing some of these lower levels. So let's wait to see. NASDAQ down 0.7. Yeah, still excited, man. Just working on this note for everybody. It'll be out very, very soon. And yeah, Tilray today, nice move. Like I said yesterday, they're still not going to be profitable, and they're not. Losing 7 cents. We'll talk about that. But again, I don't know, like this could be one that breaks out. I mean, we talk about how we like breakouts. So Tilray up here at 260. I don't know, it's a little bit too choppy in and around this area. So I almost feel like it needs to break 280, 285, 286. I just don't, after reading the report and everything like that, I don't think it's going to be that crazy, and it hasn't had too much of a move. But Tilray also reported. So we're finally getting into some decent companies that will be able to trade here off of earnings. We saw Walgreens Boots Alliance last week make that huge move down on the dividend worries there. Now it's back. It was down to 23, I think. But anyways, nice move up to 25 now for Walgreens Boots Alliance. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it did dip into 23, made its way back upside right now. So yeah, it's going to be a fun earnings season, that's for sure. It kicks off on Friday, basically, with all the big banks. 46.8 now for Bitcoin.
All right, here's this note I was mentioning. Shout out to The Block, whatever that is. We have no affiliation or credit, so take this for what it's worth. Saying that Valkyrie expecting their spot Bitcoin ETF to go effective as of Wednesday, with trading to begin as early as Thursday morning, guys. That's coming from co-founder CIO Stephen McClurg told The Block this morning. So they're forecasting as much as 400 million to flow into the ETF in the first week alone. Again, that's just, remember, one of a possible, I think there's 15 plus at this point that could come through. As early as it's looking to be, maybe Wednesday at the close, Thursday morning to start trading. Here is one more. There we go. Here's Bitcoin. Huge move down initially this morning, gets through 45,500 and then right back to essentially where we were yesterday. It's a 15-minute chart, so we are still in this consolidation, but quite volatile here, guys, on decent volume. It's worth mentioning for BTC early on.
I was looking at, let me find up BTC here. Good move, man. I mean, 47, we're still holding some of those highs in BTC here. As you can see, there was some sort of a dip down into 45, 46 there, 45.8 it looks like, but then bought right immediately back up. So right now we're just kind of hovering around. If you look back to see where we were yesterday and what wound up happening, let's go over to a 5-day chart. We're going to be able to see once it loads up, if it ever does. Anyways, we're going to watch out. Right now, Bitcoin is starting to head to the downside. As you can see, we are very, very much coiling up here right now to try to make a move one way, right? That's 47,250. I love the 250s. We like 47.5, 47,250. 46,500 has been the bottom. So I feel like right now, 46.6, we're very, very close to dropping through right now. So watch out for this 46.4 to breach, and then it's some downside moves. Yesterday, we did really well on GBTC, which turned out to be one of my top stocks there yesterday. And that's because we just went right over to the Grayscale Trust and just started trading it once we saw Bitcoin starting to move around. So as Brendan said, there's going to be reports out there just flying every day about this ETF being approved, that ETF being approved. I think there's 12 applications or so. We'll see which ones go through. There's not really much you could do other than look to trade spot or, a stock like, we don't have spot on our system, which is why I go to GBTC. There's BITO. But other names like Mara have really been working, right? I mean, here you go again. You're really starting to coil up. I still like Mara breaking this 27. So right now you're going to be down a little bit here on Mara today, but if we can get back above 27, I mean, we were just there yesterday afternoon. So I like this play. Let's see on any kind of a rumor that comes through or anything. I think we got to go immediately over tomorrow. We know there's a short float in this name. Let me double check it. Yesterday, remember we were checking Bolero here. MARA, double check it quickly. Yeah, so still 22% according to Trade Ideas on the short float. And I just really like breakouts like this, when you're starting to, you make a move down, you bottom out, you've definitely stopped this move down at 23, 24, 25, trying to hold. Now it looks like we'll go back for this top. So come at the king, you're going to get burned. So if Bitcoin continues to go back to the upside, I think you want to stay long Mara, and we're going to get long Mara if it does get through 27 or the thing is, you had this epic flush yesterday right off the open. So it's going to be very, very difficult for me to say, hey, I'm going to be sitting here at 25 to buy this name. No, I'm not doing that. We're going to play momentum. So if Mara starts to jump around here, we'll be taking this 2670 long, something like that on a break. Play momentum. I think we're going to be in the right names today. Coinbase also was a monster yesterday.
Tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. I was muted. That was me. I was talking to Rob. I'm going to shout out right in the chat there, Michael Parlato. That was a good one. So if I see it, we like it, we'll say it and shout you out there. Look, on Mara, I shorted it early yesterday, and that was a hit, and then waited for it to get up to that big resistance level, and then that's where was able to end the day flat after 2 losing shorts, and then was able to get profits on a couple at the high of the day there. But it was a long day on Mara yesterday. So that level, it stands out. It's a resistance till it's not at this particular point. And it's the same thing, like Coinbase has a similar level, tweeted out this morning, both this line decided that it did not want to stay. But both these names have resistance that came in. That should be a little closer to 162, but I think you get the idea. You had a triple top in here since that big pullback on both Coin and Mara. If they get taken out, I prefer Mara. That's the one I've been trading pretty much every single day. You can pick your own poison, but I'm definitely going to prefer that one. I just got out of Unity. So my plan was, and actually in my note, I was like, okay, well, 40 could break. Actually 40.20 because that was a bit of a local high. And then if it dipped back into previous close support, look for a long underneath. So that's what it did. It dipped underneath, broke that support. There's your wick entry. If you know how I like to buy dips, there's the wick entry here. Added to it on a higher dip. Looked like that was going to be good, and then it just took out the bottom. So I'm out. Maybe it can set back up at the open, after the opening rush, all those kinds of things. But for a pre-market trade, do not want to hold on to it. Took the shot, waited for it to make a bounce, join the bounce, and then it kind of didn't carry through. There's some size here at 39 as well. With 10,000 shares sitting at 39.01, oddly, not even at the even dollar. So I'll be out of it for now, but I don't mind jumping back into this when there's a little bit more liquidity at the open. It was job cuts for Unity. But there's no chance you're not, well, okay, I shouldn't say that, but there's a good chance as a day trader you're going to be looking at some crypto today. And whether you like Hut 8 or you like GBTC or you like Coinbase or you like Mara, you're going to want to keep your ear to the ground. You're going to want to watch that market as it has been a mover. Them in the semis yesterday.
All right, yeah, gives it all back and then some already for you. A few people I saw mentioning this. This is JNPR, Juniper Networks. Hewlett Packard reportedly close to a $13 billion deal for JNPR. From what I see, nothing has actually happened here. So we are fading out a little bit. It's reportedly nearing a $13 billion deal. Trading around 37 right now. Decent volume behind this move, but JNPR up huge in the pre-market here. Let's talk about some of these semiconductors. We'll get to them in depth coming up in the rundown. Obviously, it was Nvidia, all about Nvidia yesterday. All three of the major ones, Nvidia, AMD, Intel, presenting at CES, new products from all of them. Right across the board, it was the gaming side of things that was in focus for the most part from Nvidia. Coming back in a little bit here, guys, we're right at essentially where we ended the day yesterday. Still positive, though, here for Nvidia so far.
Oh, man. Look, Nvidia yesterday was an absolute rocket. Now, obviously, there's not many ways you can expect that stock bottom to top at the open to pretty much the close to move $30. In the morning, it didn't seem like it was that kind of a move. At the end of the day, it didn't give a dip buy. My initial plan was, okay, we like the long off the China news, but it was all about looking for dips. That's what the market had been giving you. This ended up being a breakout at the $500 level. Ultimately, I scalped it out and did not hold past the initial push. looking for a dip back in that just never happened, and then a continuation. But the continuation was absolutely there. It actually made the same move if you hold it throughout the day. So the move that happened in the afternoon was just as big as the initial push. It just took longer. But that's insane. You don't usually see, and in the last couple of weeks, I actually can't think of a stock that went that parabolic early, consolidated, and then was able to double the move throughout the day and close on the highs. Not a single stock comes to mind of that regard. I'm sure you guys can probably point something out like a small cap, but it was a wild run for Nvidia. What I love about this is when you're breaking out on the daily, all of the doom and gloom about the overvaluation of Nvidia, and all it did is pull back into obvious support and never break the channel to the downside, and then just now continuing and breaking that channel up. Now they're going to have to report earnings in Feb, and obviously that is going to be, it'll be tough for them to beat expectations, which it always is for a rocket ship like them. But the breakout is ongoing, and as long as you're breaking out on the daily, I'm looking for continuation plays when you make a break like this. You break down, I'm looking for short thunder. You break up, I'm looking for longs over. So we just look at that previous high, the 15 level. As long as we're above there, I will be looking for some dip buys in Nvidia. As far as individual levels go, I think they're going to stand on their own because you're at new fresh tops. So obviously that 515 stands out. You're going to have 522 as a pre-market low right now. If those two levels don't end up having a bid, then it's just going to be like down to like tape reading along those lines. Oh, and just because we're going to talk a little about chips, of course I'm going to have, whoops, I went to go ARM. I'm going to have ARM on the mind as well. Now, ARM made that great break at 70. I pivoted from AMD to ARM and Intel longs after that initial push. ARM continued through to 73. I like 71s in here on ARM on any kind of a dip. If we do see the high 70s, though, I think that's a short on ARM. We'll cross there.
All right. Look, like yesterday, a lot of people made their months on Nvidia, and I feel like it was the easiest trade. Pretty much the easiest trade I've seen in a very, very long time. And just congratulations to everybody that did it. It was a break of 500. I don't see it being as easy today, but like I said, there were many traders here yesterday that made their month. Let's see if we can do it again here today. And we have to buy dips this time. I don't want to buy this breakout of 528. So we'll risk some money again. Like I said, we won't risk everything we made yesterday because, yesterday, this is what traders, like yesterday, this kind of 500 break on that news, this is like what we're here for, So when you make money like that, you don't want to put it all back into the name when it's not setting up the right way again. But at the same time, I feel like this is, and the sticky note's going to go out in just 2 seconds. I feel like this is going to be something that we definitely need to be buying all kinds of dips on all day. Like I said, it was January 8th, and that's it. It was a huge trade, but don't throw, like I would keep saying, bad money after good, or whatever the hell the saying is, because if it's not there today, it's not there today. But for me, I feel like key level 520, that could come into play just because right there when we hit it, it really blew up. It blew up about $2 immediately once it took that level out. Also down into here, we baselined a little bit at, this is after market. So then we baselined a little bit here at 523 before starting to go back up. And we were watching not I was watching, I was on it. Market recap show. Again, this kind of a level right there, 523, 524, that could hold, it's too early right now to decide anything. So I'm just going to wait. I feel like that 520 right there into the close, that was a nice jumping spot there. And then just trying to find out where we really, really got excited. Maybe this is where I got out 512. We had a $12.50 winner, like I said, making months. But this rate here, 512, I don't think we dipped down that far. So that's why going through all these levels, I actually think are stupid. So let's just wait to see what happens with Nvidia. It's going to go down at some point, and you just have to try to buy the dips. But again, I'm not risking nearly what we made yesterday today unless I do see some kind of a key level popping through there. So it's Nvidia. It's got to be on everybody's radar, as do all the semis.
Other things moving around here, a couple other potential ideas. One, this one yesterday, huge move to the upside. Crocs on guidance revision, holding up quite nicely. We get through 100 yesterday and then some. 102, the bottom end of the range on the pullback yesterday, trying to hold as far as support. There was a couple of analysts talking about Crocs this morning, pointing to further upside potentially, so mostly positive, even though it's down 1.2% expected after the sides of the move yesterday. I want to mention this as well. Match Group, Elliott Management, building a $1 billion stake in MTCH. So Match up here to the tune of about 14% on the morning.
Oh, okay, well, it's heading to the upside there. I mean, if you're not in it already, then you might have missed this trade. I mean, you are right now. I can see it. The 200 period moving average is $38, $39. Well, hold on a second. If this ever loads it up. But there it is, man. Like, you've sort of had that move in. Everybody that bought, right into this area on some kind of support, get, relief rally there the last couple days. Now breaking higher. There's that 200 period moving average. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we can look at names like, I think there was Bumble, other names here that are in the space as well. I don't know enough about it, but nice move to the upside there. Not bad spread. I don't know. I would say if they're taking a stake, where would they probably exit said stake? I mean, maybe 48, 49 if they're trying to get some activist movement here. So I think you got another couple bucks. If I was in Match, like 46, 47 seems to be where I would meet my match.
I like that.
I don't know.
I do for things like this. Like, it's not even that much. It's okay volume. It's not that much volume here on Match. I look for a level that after the first 30 minutes or so, when everything's settled down, you get to see some levels. If you're not familiar with trading the stock, that I can give myself an if-then statement. So looking at the 42 in here makes some sense. Like, you had some support. Like, since that last week, where I would call it the pivot on the stock was right around here when it broke down the 200 period as I zoom it out. So if I look at that on the way back in, if it can hold that level, that looks juicy to me and much better trade. So I would probably just look back at this and, not 10 o'clock, maybe 9:45, something along those lines. Is it able to hold the 42 level? If the answer is yes, then I think looking for some longs could make some sense on Match. But I don't really trade. It's not a stock I've traded before. It's got a 4% short float. If that number was 12 or 15, I think you'd be a little bit more excited here. So it's not a hard pass because it's up 13%. And look, anytime you have a stake like that from an activist, it can be a decent catalyst, regardless of what the end game might be. But I just need to see it hold that 42 first. There's so many things to look at right now, momentum-wise, that it's okay to put things in the back burner. And this will happen. If we come back at noon and this thing bottoms out at $42 at 9:37 and then goes to 47, it is what it is, but it won't be the first place I'm looking at 9:30.
Interesting look here from Amazon, downside so far this morning. Just reading about this, apparently a new video streaming platform or product unveiled from Amazon called Mattercasting. So Amazon Mattercasting, similar to an Apple AirPlay or Chromecast, it sounds like. So you'll be able to stream to smart devices, maybe Alexa, or from Alexa to a smart TV or something along those lines. But Amazon downside here a little bit. But I mean, it's going to be one of those weeks, guys. I think with CES going on in Vegas, we could hear a lot of these types of announcements throughout the week.
I actually really like Amazon. This is going to be one of those names. Amazon and Microsoft, I think, are the names that I've switched over to as far as wanting to buy some dips. But again, like Amazon, you have some great levels here. I mean, how great is this 146, 145? I mean, okay. 144, like all of these are great levels. But the thing is, you're at the 148 right now. So if this market wants to fall down, there's room to go to the low side here, back down to 144 for sure, 146. I mean, we were just here 2 days ago. Why can't we do it again? So I think Amazon falls into some of these levels. Again, what I'm talking about when I'm talking is, for longer term positions and things like that, I want to buy some for the longer term. But if we're going to be sitting here day trading this name, we have to have the market on our side. So I love this 147 long. it comes down into the 50-period moving average. We had a monster move there right off the jump yesterday, and then bought back up. 147.50 was the dip, and then we ripped up there. So I would think that if you're just going to be as specific as we possibly can, there it is right there, 147.50. So there's that move off 146 yesterday. 147 wasn't even an issue. 146.50 there, 147.50. So what I'm thinking is you're going to get some actionable trades down into 147. You have 50 cents to the high side. You have 50 cents to the low side. I think it's a buy at 147. It has nothing to do with these lines. It just has to do with, I feel like the bottom could be 146.50. So if this comes in and the market drops down, then you have 147 that was held. This is like 147.20. So, that's a decent level from yesterday. So that's something that I think you can trade on Amazon. But again, it needs to sort of react with the futures. If the futures are going to continue to fall, possibly back down. I mean, I think we don't have Sharif here, so we won't get that little quick review on the futures. But falling back into 16,500, I feel like is where the baby's cradle is going to be, because back into this, a nice comfortable area. We have some support down into here, and this is only a couple days. This is not like this is a huge level, but some dip buy opportunities. I feel like we all thought the market was going to come in a little bit there, which it did at the beginning of the year, right? We were down 3, 4, 5%, 5% on average for the Mag 7 names, but this needs to test it one more time, I feel like, and then we'll be able to see a hold. Once you get a hold down there, then maybe it's green lighted. So for now, for me, I feel like the NASDAQ could still fall in a little bit, which is why on the sticky note, we're being very, very specific with some names. I do like Amazon, but as you can see, we're starting to drip down here more than the market, already down 1%. Longs could be in trouble here today.
Yeah, look, Amazon's a stock I like for the dip buy in the long term. I think today, it is a name that if this market can't get back and sort of reclaim this 16.7, if not 16.7.5, I look at 14.85, 148.50, 14.85, 148.50, which was a big level and the morning top yesterday. I look at that as a bit of a quick little short zone. If we're not going to get this back, if we push higher and start curling and fail lower highs, then underneath that line, I would probably be looking short into the 147 level. Although for the dip line, I wouldn't, if we break 147, I kind of have my eyes on 146.5, like that previous resistance going back into last week. So I'm okay with that as a bit of a bounce spot, but I can't ignore Amazon turning around underneath 150. As a day trader, there might be some scalpable trades in the 148.5 range where you can play off the pre-market high. If we're busting out tops, no problems. I think, I would have told you if we were 0.7% up on the futures, I'd probably be looking at a 150 break on Amazon, but that's not where we're at. So that 148.5 for me is going to be a early resistance level, probably giving the pre-market highs, or at least looking for some overfills in the pre-market highs. Usually a one and done on a level like that at the open, and if we take out the tops, it has to then fail underneath that level again to show some weakness. If we do get down, the only difference I have is I like 146.5, that lower high in here. I didn't think that was going to be very much in play, but here's Amazon down 1%.
All right, just watching this. Here is oil right now. Sharp move down on pretty heavy volume. Haven't seen exactly why at this point, but pretty heavy selling. Still positive on the day. It was up 2.5%, down 1.6, obviously. XOM, some of the energy stocks not really responding to that. That typically means there is some sort of headline and reason why oil itself is falling. Just be aware of that if you're looking at any of the energy names. You guys mentioned Tilray off that earnings note. I saw CGC here was down 12%. So $30 million private placement. So raising more debt for Canopy just coming through as well.
I told everybody to light these things on fire anyways. So, I mean, now you're going to the downside. This is like, they just did this move from 50 cents up to $5. I mean, if I wasn't just being so stubborn about this, from what was probably 20 grand in my account of CGC value is probably worth $2,000 now, or not probably is, or even less. So let's call it 1,200 probably. But anyways, this is just going to keep on getting lit on fire. Like there it is, man, 447. You're about to. this probably is short. We'll have to see that story as Brendan just dropped it, but yeah, they're going to need more cash. Tilray comes out today and is still negative, so they don't have an EPS. They're still red, down 7 cents EPS for the quarter. CGC's, I guess that would be a dream if they were only losing that little bit of money. But again, you reverse split so you can stay afloat. Unless somebody comes back and buys these guys, I don't really, and why would you? I mean, you're already buying at pennies on the dollar anyways. So this name just continues to get flushed, man. And like I said, I don't think I've blown through that much cash on this because we did trade it when it was higher and we were able to get out. We were in this name early as well. I mean, cannabis and the legal aspect of it was floating around here for a very long time. Some of these names most of them were on the CSE or lower exchanges before they even, got pumped up. Stocks like MindMed, stocks like NMD, that's the $4, but this has been reverse split also.
Yeah.
A lot of these stocks that once came out with a lot of hype have dwindled away, right? And so actually MindMed seems to have been doing pretty good since November right there. This could be one to look at in the space. No volume on it, but just something. Anyways, CGC, Brian, thanks for the update. But yeah, for right now, like I said, MSOS, MSOX. I would just say, without trusting any individual names, we had Raheem. Maybe Raheem, he picks and chooses.
If we ask him to talk about
coppers and metals, so yeah, he's talked about it as well and given some names. So, but definitely next time Raheem's on, maybe we could ask him again. But yeah, the marijuana space to me is right now lit on fire. So I'm going to stay away from it.
I just paid for I just got some shares on CGC just in case. It's 1/3 of 1 cent for locates for us here at Day Trade the World, because I actually hadn't looked at this until the story just came out. So thank you guys for bringing it up. It's just reverse split, testing the lows. If it breaks down from here, how many times have we seen this where a stock reverse splits? If it breaks the local bottom, then you can have a huge rush to the downside. If not, if it holds that low, sometimes you get one of those, okay, you reverse split, you got a low float, now you're going to go crazy. So that's not insane for CGC to be able to do either one of those two things. If we start breaking away from this $4.30 level, don't need to draw a line, you guys can see that. If we break down from here, maybe wait for 420 to go, and then just start looking for look for a short that I think has obviously a lot of room to go. You can never predict how big something like that is going to be, but it's support until it's not. I was just looking at the level 2 here. I'm just going to quickly show you. Somebody likes it for 100,000 shares off that low. This guy here. This order, I should say, down. You're going to see some of that. Right? You'll see some buyers in there every now and then, but there's 100,000 sitting at the 442 level on CGC. If it takes out 430, I think it's in some trouble, and I'd be looking for some shorts. But it's going to be short sell restricted, down 11%. It's opening up. If it opens here, it's opening up short sell restricted.
All right, let's get into everything else we have to understand as we head towards the open on a Tuesday here. If you haven't done so, super easy. Grab a free watch list, because why not? Go to watchlist.tradertv.live, enter your email address. You get that every single morning for free from us to you. The rundown this morning, happy to announce, brought to you by Roma Green Finance, committed to sustainable finance solutions and innovative green investments that drive positive environmental impact. Roma Green Finance Limited stands as a beacon in the financial landscape, blending profitability with dedication to a greener, more sustainable future. Scan that QR code coming up bottom right corner in a few seconds there. There it is. And check out the link in the description, guys. Shout out to our friends over at Roma Green Finance. All right, let's go. Semis, yeah, very strong. Coming off a pretty impressive day yesterday. It was all-time highs at the end of the day for Nvidia. Led the pack and is trying to do the same here this morning. Not a lot of price action today, but you can see monster day yesterday for Nvidia on pretty impressive volume as well. Yeah, it was all about this. CES underway over in Vegas, AMD, Nvidia, Intel, all with product announcements yesterday, but Nvidia definitely the most impressive.
Yeah, I feel like at CES this year, if you're not talking about AI, someone's going to throw you out, and you're not going to have as much fun. But at the end of the day, it's not just about AI. but it is driving the ship, and clearly that's what the lead story was. NVIDIA does so much volume and gets so much revenue from China that it's important that they are the go-to. You already had, we mentioned all this yesterday, you already had Huawei and a couple of other companies look to alternative sources for their chips. By the way, Samsung kind of came out with a warning about where their profitability is headed. They had a really bad outlook just this morning on Samsung. But anyways, that's a different story. NVIDIA here, I think it's going to be. It's not rocket science to say that today will not be yesterday. That's just how it is. You very rarely on a stock like this will get 2 days like that. But what can happen is when you've moved so far, you actually have to be patient looking for the places to dip. That's why 520 is going to make a little bit of sense in there. The pre-market lows, just by virtue of it being afternoon consolidation right at the close, and then pre-market levels as well. If we break both of those, I'm looking back to both 515 first. If we get to 510, that's a totally different story. I look back to a level like that. This is actually up 0.4% while the market is down 0.8. So if we head to the downside, like if the market's going down, I don't know that NVIDIA is the first place I'm going to be looking short because I'm looking for dip buys. But out of those chip names, Intel was late, a little bit late to the party. Everything ran right away. It ran after about 10, 15 minutes at the open and was kind of dragged up by everything else. And then even late in the day, it fell off of those highs when the market was pretty strong off those tops. If it doesn't hold the 48 level, I think that could continue to come in. You're not at all-time highs here. You're not even at 52-week highs. You've pulled back from those on Intel. You're still underneath that 50. I don't know for sure whether if we get back green on the day that I need to be shorting Intel at the top. I think I'd cross that bridge, look at market strength when we get there. But if this market continues to the downside and Intel can't hold 48, I would be looking for a sell on that one underneath the 48 level. So we still like up, and you'll probably have to be patient buying some dip buys for me on ARM and for NVIDIA. But if there is something I'm looking for the short, I know I said Micron in the afternoon show yesterday. Intel has the virtue of being right at this $48 level right now, which does make me favor it early.
I have to look at some Intel. I do not look at Intel yet today. Look, like I said yesterday, I say it over and over again. There was a few traders here that made their month yesterday on this break. That's okay. Still on that month there yesterday, right on that 500 break. Now, it was way easier trade. It was the number one idea yesterday on the sticky note. It was a monster trade. You guys know we kept talking about it, and it was one of the only ones we had early, and it was just a monster break. And then we wind up getting out up here, 512. And as Neil mentioned there, it just kept on going into the end of the day, and then closed at 520, right? Like that's basically where we close, with a big volume spike right there at the end of the day, getting up to 522. So any kind of a pullback, I think, and as I wrote down today, and again, I won't show the sticky note over and over again. I mean, I just want to thank everybody for all of the, hold on a second, I got to find it first. For all the love on the sticky note. I mean, the followers are ramping up right now, and I just want to thank everybody for that. Oh, actually, where did this is still pinned from yesterday. Okay, that's why I was like, that's not today's sticky note. Here's today's sticky note. So let's pin the right one right now. Okay, so pin. All right, so right now we have 520 long. Yesterday we had 500. Today we had 520. But then as we talk about CES and everything in here, let me just go back over to this and have a quick look at what we're talking about. Look, looking for an area of support. You have to be patient today. Yesterday, patience was incorrect. You had to blast through that 500 level and take as many shares as you possibly can. Today, we need to wait because you do not want to give everything back on a move that you're simply going to be wrong with. So let's wait. Let's be as patient as we possibly can with NVIDIA. I feel like it's going to base at some point. If we get down to this 518-ish level, I think that would be fantastic. But again, let's just wait for the market to tell us. We have so many opportunities, man. I'll make hundreds of trades today, as you guys know. Let's just wait, be patient. But I do want to step in and sort of step out. Like, let's put our shares in when we get a chance, and just have to wait for that. So I have NVIDIA up. It's up on one screen over here, and we're going to make sure that we continue to watch it every day, every move for the next little while, right? CES is a huge catalyst, in my opinion, as was the 500 break, as was the Chinese news yesterday. Nvidia continues to win. Man, I'm glad we're long semis, and I'm glad we bought some SMH on that dip. It's been a wild ride in this name. And remember, Brendo, when we did the podcast, we talked about, this is a couple podcasts ago, we said, what's going to work in 2024? And I just said, stay the course, baby, as you did as well. Let's stay the course. Buy the strongest names. Why do we have to get tricky? There's Nvidia. It's up 3 or 4% off that bottom. Let's see if we can still hold these levels. 525 looks like, that's come and gone. We may not even see that again. Let's wait.
If it ain't broke, why do anything? I just saw Boeing back downside here. CNBC, I think it's CNBC talking about this Boeing 737 MAX 9 right now. So apparently they're making 38 of these planes a month production side. So it's a fairly hefty hit. Boeing right back to session lows here, so just be aware. Google, meanwhile, down 0.5% here, also had a pretty impressive day yesterday. Right back to 138, 139, trying to hold 138 this morning, but we were at 139. End of day yesterday. By the way, this is that Roma, bottom right corner. Go check that out. ROMA on the NASDAQ, if you were wondering. So nice looking chart for Roma as well. Anyways, Google set to defend a potential $7 billion lawsuit. There's a company in Boston that is going after them when it comes to AI and some of the technology that they are using for their AI. This Boston company saying that maybe they have allegedly, anyways, copied theirs.
Look, I mean, these guys have so much money, Google and stuff like that. I just feel like all they got to do is settle down with their AI, get it all figured out. We saw that where they were scraping Microsoft and OpenAI and ChatGPT were scraping. And this is such an early days right now in AI that there are going to be back and forth with different lawsuits, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and eventually they'll all get it all figured out. The thing about Google is, which is why it's not really on my radar the last couple of days, is because where it was on the daily chart. I'll talk about that in a minute. But what I wrote down was, and it's funny because today, this was not even off. Anyways, I'm not going to keep showing the sticky note, but Google is on here at 137. And the reason why is because we had this base yesterday. So Google yesterday sort of did a dance here, 50 cents, back and forth, till eventually breaking out at 11 o'clock. Why did it break out at 11 o'clock? I don't know. But it did, right? I could probably match it with the market and probably various other names as well that broke out at that point. But that breakout spot is 137.20. I'm bidding Google right now at 137.12s, 11s. If it comes back into that level, then I want to buy, and I want to buy a lot of shares. So let's see what happens with Google right now. Will it come back in? I don't know. Like I said on the sticky note and earlier, I'm actually pretty bullish today, that's why I didn't turn these guys around. Despite it not looking very bullish in the market, I just think we can get going. I don't know if the market's going to be green. I just wonder if we are going to be down that 1%. So if Google does fall back in a little bit, we want to take the long. It's obviously red with the market, but this is why it's not super exciting to me. You're right in the middle. It's not doing anything. If Google was up here, then we would have this kind of a break to play. But for right now, you're kind of stuck in the middle. I think we buy dips. And like I said about Amazon, it's the same story. Down into here is where you really want to try to make a move on Google. Down into here is where you want to make a move onto Microsoft. Just like this is the other name I want to buy. We could look at this today. So as we're talking about AI, look at Microsoft. Everything is trying to figure itself out right now. This is looking amazing for a break again long. So you're holding the 50-period moving average. Any kind of a dip buy into 360. 8, 7, something like that down here for Softy is a gift as well. So look, lots of dip buy opportunities. I'm still not ready to really pull the trigger yet. I still think we could see some downside moves here coming at the end of January. But if you are willing to dip your toe in, there's so many nice levels. Let's just see if they hold out for day trades.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. Now, for Google, Sean already showed you the daily chart there. So, Google, Microsoft, they have not been going crazy at the top, which leads me to, I'll just be waiting around for them, unfortunately. The 140 and the 135 levels. If you look at just the last week, if you look at this year, you've got the 140 top, essentially, and then you have a 135 bottom, which is not it's not that much of a double bottom because of the light volume that would have occurred down there, because it's pre-market yesterday where you would have had that double tap. But unless I see those levels, I probably stay away from this. I mean, there's Amazon, there's Apple, there's Nvidia. I kind of like those ones a little bit more for trade. But if we get to 140, then I'm looking for a short up there on Google. And if we get to 135, I'm looking for a long. I'm playing inside on Google till it's proven otherwise at those levels.
All right, here's a note on Unity this morning. If you missed it or just joining a little bit late, 25% of the workforce going to be laid off, about 1,800 employees in total for Unity. As we said, if you were with us in the first 30 minutes there, it's already given back all of this gap and then some. This is kind of an interesting chart, to say the least. The blue line on here is if you invested $1,000 in Unity. The yellow is S&P and the NASDAQ in that orangey color. But it's been a wild ride, to say the least, for Unity if you go all the way back to 2023.
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. Our graphic there, it's like fired, fired, fired. Well, technically, it should almost be like one of those three is fired. They didn't lay everybody off. It was 1/4 of the workforce. Now, cost cutting is usually a good thing for a company that's trying to grow or trying to get a little bit more slim while growing and that kind of stuff. And it was gapped to the upside. As a matter of fact, it looked like it could have been just a clean breakout at 40.25 and then maybe heading back to the local top. Instead, it does end up turning red. I tried one long off the consolidation level here. It could not hold. I think you're a bit in the ether now, in the middle of this gap fill to the downside, which does have 38 to 38.40, like that zone underneath it. So if this is going to hold red, it's either supporting that level or supporting back in and around this 39, or I'm going to end up sitting out Unity altogether. You can, when a stock gaps up and you have that price action, you can have an idea of what you want to do, but it's 916, and then it's already ran one of those levels. So you're already kind of 0 for 1 on Unity. The thing about pre-market trading, and everyone's going to be a little bit different about this, the thing about pre-market trading is in some way always looking to reduce risk, either tighter stops or smaller size. I never want a pre-market trade to be the end, but you also want the advantage sometimes of seeing some of that opening volume to give you a little bit of a hint. So I think I'll probably be back on Unity if it can recover 39, or if we just get down to that 38 to 38.40 zone. No trade right now for me, but we did take the early hit on Unity on the dip buy.
All right, we're still in it. Hopefully this is not going to be a hit for us on Unity. We're long at 38.80. We already took some out when it broke the first time. Then we got some back in, and now we're long again. Let's just see if this name continues to go. I like it. I'm going to get out if we break down through 38. Pretty simple trade here. Year the efficiency. Let's see if it's going to be the truth for Unity. We obviously would like to see it back up to $40. I think it can get there. And like Neil said, you're taking some risks, right? Here, so we're going to do that right now with Unity. You can see the short float is not huge. It's only at 12%, so that's not the case for this trade. I'm going to get out of a little bit if we come back up to 38.90, which is where we're long, and then we'll just let it go back up to the upside. I still think this is going to be potentially a good trade. That bottom right there is 38.30. There was no really reason I don't know, for me to really get out there, but 39 was the key level for me. We wrote that when it was at 40, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, right down in. So obviously, we would have loved to have been long a couple pennies better than where we are right now. But we're still in the pocket here with Unity. Let's just quickly double check here what we're looking at. Palantir. Ooh, man, we missed that opportunity yesterday. Well, we had it. We were just so over the moon with Nvidia. Look, we had Tesla with, I think it was $6 maybe to the upside. We had that trade, and we had 12.50 was the highest on Nvidia. So we did miss Palantir. But this again is another name that I really, really like. If we can get into this one, you can see down into here 16.20. Some of this base down there for Palantir. Again, a little bit of a flush in for this name, and I think that we would definitely look to buy it as it's up more than the market. It's double the market rate. Well, I mean, again, a couple pennies one way or the other is going to change this, but definitely not down as much as the market. Let's see if Palantir can hold bid. It's another thing that I really, really like.
Volatility potentially here for natural gas once again today as well. UNG up in the pre-market to the tune of about 6% so far. Here's the daily chart for Boeing. We're right at essentially some support from yesterday, and if you go all the way back to the beginning of 2023, we're coming into significant levels, but heavy volume yesterday. Not sure why that's green, but anyway, yeah, I put United on the board there, not because this is their issue in any significant way, but I did read this morning that United is expecting, quote unquote, significant cancellations today because of this Boeing issue. So they do use this plane heavily in their fleet, and they're having to adjust and get planes to different cities to compensate for that. So United coming out saying that they're expecting significant cancellations today because of this. But yeah, more planes, more loose bolts found for these 737 MAX 9, guys.
Yeah, it's United with, I think, like 79 of those MAX, 737 MAX 9s, and then like Alaska has like 64, and it was like 170 grounded total, and then I guess there's a few other smaller carriers that probably have the rest of those. United's actually, like UAL is up 1.4, but heading into a big resistance zone here at 44.25. So I think there's actually size on the offer. Oddly enough, it gets actually 44.23, I think, is that high, and there's actually an offer sitting at 44.23 right now. So I would look at that as a bit of a resistance zone for UAL. If it breaks out somehow and you get a recovery day, hey, this could actually be a long off that price. I just want to go back to the well that worked yesterday several times, which was being patient on SPR. It gave great moves. Obviously, it's a little bit more volatile than Boeing in terms of the percentage moves that it's going to have. But at the open, it showed a top. It failed that top at 28, down into 27. When it got back, I elected, because of what Boeing was doing, not to reshort the stock. But then in the late afternoon, it got to the big 30 level, which was the gap fill. And when the stock fills in the gap, look for the short. Then you had the we found more bolts news, and it was a short back into VWAP. So the levels, obviously that 30 level for a short pop situation, need some volume to come in. And then at the open, maybe look at that 28.60, certainly 29. This is about 29.40. That's hard to see. There, 29.40 were consolidated before falling down into VWAP as well. So those are all of those afternoon levels where it showed resistance. That's where I'd look for some curls. The obvious one and the bigger one is going to be that 30 level because it was the gap fill zone on the daily chart there. So yeah, I'm going to go back to the well with SPR. I feel like it's a kind of story where even if it gets a relief rally, I want to patiently wait for sellers to come in because I still think there will be a few in the upcoming days.
All right, so yesterday, I mean, we nailed it. Again on Boeing, we're here. Like we said, man, we trade every kind of style, man. Yesterday I was on Mara for small amounts. We were on Peloton the day before. We were on Nvidia for a huge win yesterday. We were on Tesla for a huge win yesterday. And we had this move down on Boeing. I mean, Brendan brought the story. We just shorted it, man. We had about $2 down to 126. Remember, we did not take the very bottom of 126. We missed that, but we were able to reload it. And at the end of the day, we were able to get out in and around 228. 50 or 60, I forget what it was exactly. But here's the move coming back in, breaking that bottom for Boeing. So again, we'll be here, man. We trade it all. So we'll do that. What about 230 short? I really like that. The story, unfortunately, is not finished yet for Boeing. That sucks as a shareholder, but honestly, Boeing probably continues to work its way to the downside here until we figure out exactly what the FAA wants to do, because there's that new story about the bolts and stuff, which kind of rattled the stock yesterday afternoon. We were starting to get back up to the upside there. So I think this is a monster break long. That is funny, because I said rattled with the bolts. That was good, yeah, because I didn't even realize I said that. Thank you, Fabian, until you hit that. I was like, okay, what's that for? But this 234, man, that's a huge break long. So I would just rather wait for that. Let's go. Come on, Unity. Right now, here we go. Right back up to the upside goes Unity. So let's see. Maybe we finally get that break as the market is going to open up, and then we can break higher. And then you're going to, hopefully, we'll be able to spin some money here on Unity. So just everybody hit the like, hit the subscribe. Here we go. I do have an offer on Unity at 39.20. So hopefully that can come out just ahead of VWAP. So let's see a break long here on you and get this money back into our pocket. So far, so good, man. Yeah, Shopify. Yeah, Darwin, I know that stock is super, super strong. Oh, Canada, baby.
Back to earth for a number of individual names today after huge days yesterday. This is another one. Netflix, monster day yesterday. Ends basically at the highs. 485 comes into play. We're giving basically all of yesterday back, if not A little bit left to go anyways. But Citigroup, which FYI, I just noticed is up 40% since November going into earnings on Friday. Banks are crazy strong. Citigroup cuts to neutral, Netflix to neutral from buy, maintaining a $500 price target. Talking about lofty street expectations that are overdone at this point, saying there's still more competition in the ad space going into 2024, and they're going to have to compete on the lower end tier ad supported package for Netflix, guys.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about all the ad stuff is like everybody is joining the party. If you have a membership on Disney or Amazon, then you know all about what's going on, and everyone just copying what is working for Netflix. Now the downgrade here, down 2%. It would have been nice. Look, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We're not going to get to trade the level. If we, I shouldn't say we're not going to get to trade the level. We're very unlikely to get to trade 485, and just like 140 on, I think it was Google, I was showing it here. If you had a 485 zone, which support turned into resistance, and then it was looking to bust through yesterday. If we get back up there, I suppose it's resistance again, but that's $9 away, so we're not going to worry about it just yet. I think you're just looking at 470 on Netflix today. It won't be the place. That's not the first place that I'm going to be going, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to probably stay away from that. I'd much rather stay on, we haven't even talked about a lot of the crypto names, but we did mention the 27 level on Mara, Coinbase 151. The chip names are in play. Apple 180's in play. And I'll let Sean talk Netflix if you want. And then I actually want to mention some Alibaba as well, because I think that could see that 70 level again.
No, the only thing that I'd want to talk about here would be JD. JD is on. First of all, I just want to say that I feel like there's a trap here on XLF. So what Brendan just said is to each their own. I know there's a lot of people going in there and buying some of this ETF. To me, I think the banks are way overheated here. I would let them settle down and definitely wait for earnings, because, again, I don't feel like earnings are going to matter that much to the upside, but if they do miss or talk about some possible problems coming down in, you could get a pullback in. So I would just say, if you're looking to buy, maybe start to nibble in a little bit on XLF or Citigroup or JP Morgan or any of the names that you like that are setting up down there. Look, JD today, news with Dada, just not great. They're uncovering a bunch of garbage there. I was just looking at this. It's on the sticky note, taking down 24.75, that low back in December. So I'm ready and willing and going to be punching short on a 24.75 break for JD. So I think that this is going to be, and again, shout out to the watches.tradertv.live. That's something that we're all very, very proud of. JD was on there, and that's where I got that idea from. So JD, the thing is, its 52-week low is $24. So I just don't think that we get that far today. If we do, we'll be well in the money, and that will be good. So let's just wait to see what happens with JD. But those are my thoughts there on the banks. I think they're overheated. Just as Brendan said, you might as well wait. At this point. I mean, if you want to play a little bit of pullback, like we pulled back yesterday, just a little bit, but I don't, it's just, if Citigroup misses, I could just see us back into $50, which is going to be 6% down. So just into this area, I still like it. I mean, we already know what Fed's going to be up to. Should be a good environment for banks moving forward.
Yeah, so we're all done now. So we're going to get to Alibaba, because when I saw that news on JD, it provided a gap down situation on Alibaba, maybe retesting that $70 level in here. So on the daily chart, it's not like an all-time low or anything. Alibaba actually has a critical level at $63 underneath, but that 70, it was a triple 3-day bottom. We're at 71 right now. That's exactly where we were at this. Pretty much exactly where we were at this time yesterday, and then it held the 71 level. If it breaks down, I think it's a short into the 70. I am going to try a long in front of 70 first, but I am looking short into that number, into that level on Alibaba. So it's more of a sympathy play for me. I haven't really traded JD that much, but yeah, not good for the entire sector, actually. All the Chinese ADRs, they all gapped into the downside. So a bit of a sympathy play here on Alibaba. We're only 1 minute to go. I don't know if we actually looked at the imbalances. I didn't really see anything of note that's going to be that gigantic here. GoEV and Bets are both penny stocks. Alibaba is a sell for 20,000 shares, or 200,000 shares, but that's about it. So no really big looks on the imbalance locator, but there is a heck of a lot moving as we get into this Tuesday, first day of CES, day 2 of NVIDIA's rocket ship to the upside, and always and anxiously awaiting any news that's going to come through on some of those Bitcoin ETFs. So keep your ears to the ground. Always have, if you're trading those names, you're going to want to have BTC up there. You don't want to be too far against the grain, especially at that 47,000 level. So I'm going to be on SPR, looking at SPR, Nvidia looking for dip buys, Alibaba at this 71, and then potentially at that 70 level as well. Intel, if the market looks weak, I like that 48 level in the other direction. Oh, and we forgot to even say anything about Apple. If Apple gets to 180, you know what's up. If it gets to 185, that's resistance. Let's ring it here in 3, 2, and 1. I was a little late with that button.
Yep, here we go. All right, let's see what's going on. The only thing we have right now, of course, is Unity, the same name that we've had all day, and it is starting to head down through 38 bucks. So let's watch out to see what happens with Unity. We're also watching out for JD, which is trying to go to the downside as well. But right now we're long Unity. We just got a little pickup into the 60s, so let's take a piece out right now if we can, and then we'll get another piece out up in the 90s, and let's just see if Unity does want to work. It's a nice trade. We just picked up the bottom there at 38. So nice little piece out in the 60s. Let's see if this one will continue to work. Other than that, man, it's Nvidia. It's just dancing around right now as we sort of thought it would. The other name that I want to look at here was going to be AMD. Nvidia still 525. Here comes AMD. We do have that breakthrough 147. So watch out, man. Last time we took this break, a top break on AMD, it wasn't necessarily great. So we'll try to be very, very specific. If we get it, we're not going to hold on to it for too long. Mara's going to the downside. Okay, interesting name there as well.
Yeah, Mara did a big tank. Baba just broke that. Oh, wait a minute. No, it did not. All right, get out. Mara did not break. Okay, so anyways, Baba did not break 71 even. I got either it's a bad trigger or I made a keystroke error. So yeah, I might have made 5 cents there, but this didn't actually break 71 in Alibaba. So I'm just gonna get my stop order fixed because that was not the trigger we wanted. I wanted it breaking 71 even. Again, just because it happened to go down after I got in doesn't mean that that's the trade that I wanted. So just adjusting my order there. Mara heading to the downside pretty fast. It just wicked 25 even here. Let's see if it makes a bit of a recovery. I just saw that Bitcoin's actually not doing anything right now. So let's let that one settle down a bit. Nothing doing on, there we go. Now Baba hits the low. Obviously I could have just held on to the position that was a bit early, but we wait for the levels. I have a rule about if I get in before I want to, that I'm just gonna get right out. So I'm in at 71. 70.96, let's call it. I'm going to give it back into the quarters and see if this gets down to that 70 area. So Alibaba, first position for me. Unity, I guess I'm going to be done with that one. SPR 28 is looking pretty weak as well.
We're doing it again. Money. I mean, here it is. It's an AMD money trade. Hopefully off the sticky note one more time right now. Let's watch out for that. Unity just breaks through 38. We're out of Unity. We'll talk about that in a minute. But here we go, man. Again, we take a quick profit on AMD, and then it pulls back immediately back down 146.50, man. If it breaks that, then we're going to get out of here because, oh, well, there it goes. It breaks down a little bit. I didn't even have to stop order out. Let's watch out for a 146 break. This is literally the trade that we had last time, and it looks like we're suffering the same fate where we bust out the top, and then it just does not want to continue to go. So again, it looks like AMD to the downside right now, and it looks like it wants to break through that 146. So we're also watching out for Nvidia, which is at 522 right now.
Oh, 22.
Yeah, but this is really dancing here. We are in AMD, and it's very, very violent, man. Some of these prices are like you're in the money 20 cents, you're out of the money 20 cents, as it just keeps on dancing around. Let's watch out for AMD here.
Yeah, and even like ARM actually just flushed like $2 at the open. The market's trying to battle back, so try to be patient here. I'm only in Baba on that 71 break. Let's see if it can. It's trying to hold the 71 level, but I'm giving that one to the quarters. ARM looking like it's going to be a little bit to the red. What's interesting is Intel does not fade the 48 level. It's at 48 at the open, and it bounces from 48. So does not give me the short underneath, which means I'm just going to have to stay away from it and be patient. Nvidia's starting to fall in. Amazon, I said if we
buy
could,
AMD.
that 148.50, it breaks above the 148.50 level, which is setting it up for 150. Amazon 150 could come into play rather quickly. This is not, I thought we'd be looking at 150 maybe as like a late morning play, but I think we're looking at 150 as a 9:35 play here now.
Yeah, CrowdStrike here picking up with some volume, actually just making new 52-week highs after getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley to overweight with a price target of 304. So keep an eye on CrowdStrike here, up 3.5%, guys.
CrowdStrike.
Oh, Amazon's 150
I like the name.
right now. Okay, so we bought some back into AMD, but I don't know if it's going to work, man. We took the fail on that one. You know, we tried it. We got out 146. Like I said, man, we're not trying to like hold something until we're completely wrong. It does look like we were dead right though on Nvidia at that 520 level. It's literally where it bounced, 520.80 right there. We'll see if it does have a move back up to the upside on that one. We did have to sit there on the bottom and try to get that. The other name that we really liked early was Google. I mean, you know, we thought that we could buy basically this dip, and that just never happened, and there it goes, man. As looks like today we'll pick a little bit on what appears to be anyways the chip names as they're starting to fall back in, giving some back from yesterday as we talked about that. If AMD breaks through 145.50, then that's going to be it for me. So you're getting some love back up to the upside right here, but not much. Whoops, there it is. So it just went through. So that's it. We tried that bottom take on AMD. Now we can get away from it. We said we were somewhat positive on the market, and it did rally right back up to the upside, but the names that I liked are not rallying at all.
Nope, not at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, there goes Nvidia breaking through 520. So yeah, we may get those dip buy opportunities a lot lower than we thought. Just not happening quite yet.
Yeah, as you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt. I got in and out off that recent low on Nvidia as well. So Nvidia, it made a bottom here, like that 2080. I took along in front of it. It then broke down to 1930, so I just grabbed out. I'll wait for this to settle down. I think we can afford to be a little bit patient here. Amazon, which is continuing. I guess we didn't get to 150 there. Amazon turning at 149.50. I was looking for the short at the 150 level for a bit of a turnaround. Intel starting to come off a little bit. I'm still in BABA. It's at 71. It's between 71 and 71.5. So I feel like the pocket is staying off the lows. I was in that, did take profit. It was accidental trade. Was looking for the break to give it back into the quarter. So we're just going to hold on to this one. At this point, probably going to be backing away from that unity altogether. But have not taken a trade on Mara yet. Mara is still holding the 25. So liquidity grab underneath 25. It's still holding on to the 25 level. Bitcoin is not falling all over itself. You know what I was about to say, if Mara can hold on to 25 right here, I'd look for a long higher low. But this is starting to look like a bit of a stronger sell-off on this name, unfortunately.
All right, so we actually did buy some 520s here on Nvidia, so we're about 80 cents in the money right now. And here it goes. Let's go, man. Get above that dollar spot. I was going to say get above that dollar spot. We're just back into all of these names again right now. Let's take a piece out on it of, see, like AMD, they're just... like AMD was just in the 80s there. We had an 80-cent winner, or sorry, 50 cents on that, and a $1 plus on this, and now we're breaking lower. So there it is. We just completely fell apart right there. So we took a quick win, then a quick loss, and we are now starting to step out of some of these chip names as they continue to get bled down into the downside here. So watch out, man. AMD looks like it wants to break that bottom, and it's too bad because it was just in both these stocks, AMD and Nvidia, were just ripping right there, and we were able to get out of one, and we're still into AMD, but AMD's been getting hit for sure. So let's watch out. 144 break on AMD, and we will get out of that one. I mean, all we can do is try to buy some of these dips because I do believe in this space. It's just right now it's 938. I really would have thought that we could have possibly had a little bit more love to the upside at this point in the day on these semi names. So all we've done is trade two names so far, Nvidia and AMD, and both to the long side and both not working out. So yeah, so far we're not right on the thought of long chip names.
No, it hasn't worked out. I took my shot at Nvidia. I don't think we're done yet. There's still, I like 515 on the way back. I like 510 if they can hold those levels. I wasn't looking for the short on that name. I just got into Mara. Mara did end up holding this 25. So right after we got away from it, it jumped right back above 25. It just grabbed a higher low here at 19s. I want to look to see if I can add this on some dips. 25.50, that's where we were at the open. Let's get something out there. But that 25 is kind of like your litmus. That's that up and down. I was calling it to some of the traders yesterday, like it's not a pivot point. It's like a pivot spot on the stock. It's like every move seems to get to 25, and when it runs away from 25, it goes. So as we're back above and holding, that's what we look for in the long. Bitcoin wasn't flushing at that moment, so we did grab that long trade. BABA just broke the 71.25 level. The irony about Alibaba, I understand the irony, is if I actually stick to the accidental trade, I'm probably still holding it, and it would have been a small hit, but that was not the plan. I went against the plan, immediately took a scalp trade. I was looking for a 71 breakdown to get out at the quarters. I'm now out of that trade. Going to make sure we limit that loss. If BABA finds a bottom down here, you know it can run. So where the new trade is going to be Mar. We'll slap the fail on Alibaba. Again, to me, if I make an accidental trade, I immediately remedy the situation. If it would have worked, it doesn't matter. If we hold 25s on Mara, I'll jump right back in as long as Bitcoin is holding support. And I was saying Intel 48 is a bit of a thing, but I want to look at Nvidia and ARM, at least prioritizing them. Nvidia didn't get to 515, it just turned at 517. So it looks like it's getting close to that next level for me to take a shot at Nvidia, but got to be very, very patient with it. And yes, Yannick, I know Fisker is getting close to $1. I'm actually on the bid at 3.
All right, so we didn't make anything back on Nvidia, but Nvidia is not even that big of a hit. We're making money back right now on AMD. We told you we were buying some of that, so let's go, man. We're going to be about $1 in the money here. We just need to break through. There it goes. We just need to break through 146. Let's see if we can hold. Now upside, I'm at 146.20. Maybe I'll put it a little bit in the teens on that one because we just sort of busted through and stopped. All right, let's see if we can get some love back in for this name right now. That's AMD back up to the upside. I do really like that Alibaba. So I was thinking about buying this dip into 71. Right now, you mentioned Amazon is really super strong. It still is. It's at 149. It's just a matter of what we think about this market, like I keep saying. Maybe it's not time to buy anything yet. The market needs to hold this 50-period MA. Alibaba's right here right now. We'll take a little spot here, and then we'll average in a little bit more down here at 71 and change, and just try to give this one a little bit of room down to the downside. But we're going to go long right now on Alibaba, see if we can ring that Reggie out as well. And then here comes, oh, again, man. All right, AMD just got going there. It touched 13s. We are at 146.14. So we will take a piece out here if we can at the 90 level here for AM. Actually, 146 flat. Cannot believe we just missed that. You see what the problem is? When you miss sometimes by 1 or 2 pennies, it just rips to the tanks to the, thank you, Rob, tanks to the downside, and then all of a sudden it's like, now what? You know, so.
Stay at 12 o'clock. This is actually something I'm going to discuss at 12 o'clock. That specifically new order flow at key price levels, and why sometimes that does happen to you. So in the middle of how to trade, I'm glad you brought that one up because we see it happen a million times. Very quickly, we didn't talk about Uber. You can probably look at it. You'll see a story about the federal government, and that's going to affect gig workers. Uber and Lyft were down slightly on that. But look at the level it's trying to break out here, 59.20. I'll call it 59 quarters because I like the quarters a little better. But that is a big-time flat top break if it can get it. The market is weak. This stock is up. I had this on my list of names to watch, but to be honest with you, I thought we'd be trading a little bit more heavily in like SPR, nothing doing. Now some strength in Nvidia over 520 to get into that. But I'm going to set my order for a break of 59.25 on Uber if it can go.
$1.50 now in the money on AMD right now. So like I said, man, stick with your gut at all times and you will be fine. And then look at this, man, we're doing it as well on Alibaba. Spin the money on Alibaba. What a great trade this is turning out to be as we get right back up to the highs here on Alibaba and take it out, man. We love that name. It's Alibaba Nation. We also got out of some AMD there. What's up, Adara?
Precision Biosciences here. DTIL is the ticker. This one is a penny stock, falling back a little bit right now, but still pretty strong off the open, striking a $17.5 million deal for gene editing with TG Therapeutics, guys.
All right. I guess this is back on, baby. It's campus.daytradetheworld. Make sure you go check it out right now. It's campus.daytradetheworld.com. Gain real experience. And like some of us around here, trade real money. What's in it for you? Join exclusive like-minded individuals. We talk about this. And the thing is, man, I told you last time to hit the subscribe or hit the apply immediately. and it filled up immediately. This is only available, I believe, we can try to get this confirmed, only available to the residents of Canada right now. So if you are in Canada,
Oh, Canada.
then please apply immediately. It fills up way too fast, and I don't want any hate mail saying that you're unable to get in because it's full. So hit the apply right now. You'll learn, just like the rest of the traders behind us, with different phases, different things, different goals, simulation mode, live mode. It's all that. It's TMS, baby. It's daytradetheworld.com, and it's our campus program. Okay, just quickly here, I took less shares so I could see about holding on to Nvidia, but Nvidia just came back into the bottom again. So we'll try one little, I mean, this is why we did this. Less shares, like it's not even really a hit. I saw, well, it's gonna be a hit. We're down on the trade. Saw AMD really start to take off, thought maybe the chips could have potentially bottomed. So again, we got out, right? Like that was, honestly, to get back to pre-market highs there on AMD, like, you know, we will definitely make that play again. Here we go. This is why we decide to hold on. Lower the shares when things don't work out. You know, you got to sit back and say, you know, why? And I've already said that. Sometimes I have these great ideas, but then I just use too many shares and have to get punched out a little bit too early. So this one hopefully will continue to work out for us, but watch out for Nvidia, man. If we take down, you know, this like 517 probably days low, everyone's gonna get stopped out there. And honestly, I feel like it's probably not a horrible idea to get stopped out somewhere around there, maybe even 516. So let's just try to see if it's going to work. We've got Alibaba's been a great trade today. AMD's been a good trade off the bottom. Let's just see if we can get the same kind of love here for Mr. Nvidia.
Yeah, I'm actually the same thing on Nvidia, but I'm not in that long. I'm looking at that absolute same bottom. I just got triggered into Intel as it hit that $48 level, and Mar just retested 25, so I went for a reload there. So new position for me is going to be the Intel, looking at the breakdown. Tight stop hitting that low. So I'll give it to about those 10s because I don't want to get trapped at the bottom and then back over to Mara. It's right back at that 25 level. We got 25 to 25.40, so 25 teens to 25.40. Now we're going to see if it can hold on to this 25 back into VWAP. Bitcoin is starting to roll over a little bit though, so you got to watch out for that. We haven't traded any Boeing or Spirit, but they are falling well, Spirit is, that's what I'm watching. It's down 3%. I actually haven't looked at Boeing, so I don't want to speak for it. Spirit is down 3%. Looks like the flush was pretty much immediate here. I will look to short some pops. I would have told you we look at the levels from yesterday for some short the pop situations, but it never even got to the afternoon short that we're putting on at that 28.40 level. So we're just going to have to be patient. They're still sitting in the same two names as we speak. Actually, Baba's
been huge.
Intel just came out, but we're still holding on to Mara. And as I said, I'm not in Nvidia just yet. I think it requires, I'm going to be very, very patient about this because it's not trading the way that I was expecting. A lot of times when you go dip buy hunting on Nvidia, there's like a snap up and a pretty good higher low. At this point, it tried to make a good higher low, and it's just the stairs are going in the other direction. So I want to see some more strength on Nvidia before I jump in to it just yet. You have time to be patient. It's only 9:47. It only takes one or two on a stock like Nvidia.
What's up, Adara?
Yes, so keep an eye on some of these payment names. Not making too much of a move right now, but CNBC reporting that X is going to launch peer-to-peer payments this year. So this is part of Elon Musk's ongoing attempts to make X more of an everything app as opposed to just a social media app. Keep an eye on these payment names with regard to this news, guys.
Yeah, I actually like X. I mean, I think that if I could invest in it, I don't think it's time yet, but I do think that he's going to be bringing that thing back to market, and we talked about that over and over and over again. What an awesome trade here for Alibaba, man. When you find support like this is, okay, there it is, we're out. I guess I didn't actually, we had some more shares down at 71, but right there up to the 200 period. This is the kind of trade that I'm looking for every single day. It's just I need to be able to be patient and wait for it, right? Like it doesn't even, you know how much this breaks 71? 70.97 right there, right? And so like once you find this base, it's just blasted off. Yeah, the bottom of the day is 96.
Well, I only know because I shorted 96 to 25, so I know the exact price.
Yeah, so There it goes, man. I mean, this is kind of stuff we're looking for. And then AMD, guys, just got all the way back up. It went all the way back up to 146.80, but I didn't know if that was going to happen, so I got out at 50. So remember, that's still $1.50 in the money there on AMD. The reason why I'm cashing out of that is because its friend in arms over here, Nvidia, does not seem to want to go. So I felt like cashing out of some AMD on a move up is probably appropriate because I don't want to have the double whammy here if they both continue to go down. So yeah, we had one whammy so far. Well, we had one whammy on Unity, and we got out of that one. That sucks, but it's an L. And then Nvidia's basically. It's an L because we don't have any outs yet, but we're going to wait to see if NVIDIA could do something. This was like a flat trade, in and out. We took some profit, didn't take it on it, but we had a little bit more shares, so it's an L. But right now, yeah, we are trying to push lower here on NVIDIA. But like I said, man, everyone that made their month yesterday on this kind of a trade, just be careful not to give it all back today. You know, like even if this cracks lower, I'll give back about 20% of what I made yesterday. So that's, to me, what it's all about. Like, it's about taking shots on names that you like and understanding that if you lose, you're going to lose. That's what trading's all about, right? And so we're going to put your money in, just like poker, put your money in when you think you have the best hand, and then can it get cracked? Of course. But we're going to sit here and play like that. And again, ball don't lie. You just look at your numbers. That they will tell you if the strategies you're using are successful. Just quickly to Adair, and then we'll go back to Neil.
Not seeing any news in this one right now, but Peloton, another day to the upside, up 6.5%. We did have news on this one last week. It's collaboration with TikTok, so TikTok Fitness powered by Peloton. No current news on this one, but keep an eye on Peloton, guys.
Like, I wanted to buy that.
Peloton actually, looking at this in hindsight's 2020, based on where it held yesterday, was actually probably pretty good. But just like when we had the 670 break, can it hold on to 7 is going to be the question. So sometimes the stock isn't on your radar and you want to jump over to it because it's a mover. Yesterday's highs, I'm looking for a consolidation. That's the first thing I do. Yesterday's tops, look for that to turn into support. So about 680 to 690, I look for a dip buy zone. If buyers step in above the $7, look for a consolidation there to join some longs. I'm just going to move my Spirit chart over to that name. Mara did make another bounce in here. That's on a 15-minute still. Let me go back to the 3-minute chart for you guys. Made another bounce. It looked like it was turning at VWAP, but got again to the 25.50. Now I've got lower highs and higher lows, forming a bit of a wedge pattern. So as it gets back down to low, I might take one more swing at it and try to be a little bit better with the entry. I've been buying the teens when I see strength on the dips in front of 25 instead of trading right in front of that 25. So Mara's holding out for now, but I got to get over to Peloton. That looks super strong. The analogy I actually like with what you were saying there, Sean, is if you hit a 500-foot bomb off a fastball middle, the pitcher's probably going to throw you something else the next time, and you got to be able to take that. Maybe he's going to give you a curve, and you just got to hit a single. That's what it's all about. And the market's the same thing. If a really, really good trade happens one day, the next day it might be there, but the chances that it's going to be as good are pretty slim because everybody's looking at it on day 2. So that comes with key levels as well. Peloton has said, if it's moving, we want to be on it. So I see this moving strongly. I want to look for dips first into 680. Otherwise, wait for it to hold above 7 even.
I don't have any offers, guys, for NVIDIA until 523. So let's get on the horse. All right, SoFi.
SoFi?
Yeah,
oh.
I mean, SoFi so good, but I mean, the thing is that it's not doing much right now. So I just wanted to look at that 835 bottom. I just want to give people an idea. Come on. All right, let's go, man. Let's go right now. Maybe we can rally it with a couple bangs here on NVIDIA. So right now we are $1. We're dollar clubs right now, baby. We've got 2 trades that are both dollar club trades, but we need to make some money first. So let's get back up to the upside and not get anything out here. Let's see if NVIDIA wants to sing a little bit. We've made it all back. Everything we've lost on NVIDIA is all made back. But the thing is that we got to get out, right? Unrealized losses are still losses, or gains are still losses until they're realized. So let's see if we can get a move to the upside right now. Ooh. 5, I'm changing my offer. This is 522.20. 522.15. All right, let's put an offer there. I was waiting at 522.90, like thinking up here, but now that I see that some of these lines are coming in and we have a top right here of 521.70, I mean, we are right now $2 in the money on this trade. So we're getting excited about it one more time. So let's just see. We said we weren't going to lose as much as we made yesterday. Well, hopefully we don't lose anything, but Nvidia needs to get going. It's a nice bump up there in the market, but you're still well off, man. I mean, you're still fading off that 60, see? Like you're still fading off that 16,700. So it needs to get that one little extra oomph there to break through 16.7, break through VWAP, then get to the top side again. So let's just see if this wants to work. We could have just cashed it out. And again, like this is what trading's all about. You know, not taking like 5 or 6 cent hits on, or 50-cent hits or something like that on Nvidia, right? Like it's like I'm trying to get a little bit more. The spread alone is 40 cents. So you're gonna have to try to let this thing breathe just a little bit. So let's let Nvidia go back up to the upside. My out is $2 from here, but again, it's a $500 name. So we do have that ability. Yesterday, Tesla was absolutely crushed as well. We had a $6 winner on Tesla off of this level yesterday. This is where we bought yesterday, guys. So if you look at, if you're trading with me, we were traded, well, not this level, but this level right here. These dips that came in, 236 we got 235.50 yesterday, right here. We basically had the bottom yesterday. So right now you're dipping down in. Is it going to be 234.50 now as the bottom? So we'll have to wait to see on that one. But honestly, guys, we're in AMD, we're in Nvidia, and you're rocking with the best. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Yes, sir. Do it right now. That's what it's all about. You got to find those winners. Patience this morning because you know, there was a precipitous drop in the market, but there were some opportunities down there. I mean, Tesla obviously is having some trouble, but Nvidia made a bottom. The chip names make a bottom. I'm going to get out right here and talk about it after on Mara. So Mara, we took it off that 25 recovery a couple of times. The second time through, it's going to get to the pre-market area here. And I'm going to look for the jump out. And the only reason I did that, you're like, why would you get out there? I looked over and Bitcoin was retesting the low as we were getting back into that open range. If we're at a resistance point in Mara and I have a chance to take profit as I see a turn happening on BTC, I'm just doing it. I can actually pull this chart in there for you guys. So that move, we're going to the upside. We pulled back in a couple $100. I'm like, okay, I'll just take the profit. It's not to say Mara can't go higher, but that's what I want to do. I want to lock in that profit, make sure that I'm playing my game, my strategy. I am in Peloton now. One of the better things also about this show is, hey, we can go through all of our plans. If a stock that's moving and is a player comes out of nowhere, sometimes you want to jump on over to it. So I got an 87 fill out in front of VWAP here. Now I just simply looked at yesterday's trade, looked at some of yesterday's highs and wanted to be long out in front of it. If we bounce off VWAP, great, risk about 10 to 15 cents on Peloton to get into that $7 level. Still no Amazon 150, which is a bit weird.
All right, $3 in the money right now for Nvidia.
Oh my God.
Was that a call for Adara? All right.
Katera getting a nice pop to the upside here in volume, up almost 30%, raising its revenue expectations for 2023. So now the range is 211 million to 212 million versus the prior guidance of 205 million, guys. CUTR.
Let's go, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for being patient with me today. Like, just thank you so much, and I just hope that everybody is able to have yet again another banger day. Let's just see where we go right now. Again, Nvidia all the way back upside right there. So, tried to buy these dips, and again, if we keep saying this every day, and then I just get carried away every day, as you guys know. Look what the word was here for Nvidia today. This is why I'm telling you. Those of you that are watching my trading and can see what we've been doing the last couple months, you know we are so close to just, well, we're already doing quite well, but doing much, much better. Be patient. That's exactly what we said. Wait for a base. We nailed it, man. We nailed this. Make sure you go double check it. Go get that sticky note. That's exactly all we had to do. Like it literally, like I couldn't have wrote this any better. Couldn't have had this happen any better. You know, could have had more shares always. Could have reloaded it. Just kept on doing that. But this is exactly as we wrote it down. Was wait for a base to happen and then hit it. And that's exactly what we wound up doing. We thought it was going to start at 520. It didn't. We dipped down a little bit. We did take a little bit of a hit there. And now you can see what NVIDIA is doing. So I really thought that was a great opportunity there to take the long. And now we are now, Neil, we're not 1, we're not 2, we're not even 3. We are now $4 in the money on this trade. We made $12.50 yesterday. Add 4 back right now. $16.50, plus we're going more. Plus we've got $1.70 on it. AMD's a disaster. Plus we got $1.70 on AMD. Let's see what happens here. It's NVIDIA, it's Rip City. If we can get back, shout out to Portland. If we can get back to 524, we did it again, baby. Let's put $20 in our pocket on NVIDIA over the last couple days. Let's see if we could do that. 524, 525, sky's the limit right there. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Great, like NVIDIA, I think that you can't get any better than, sort of following the plan and being patient. I don't know why you say AMD is a dumpster. I don't know what was wrong with AMD, but you said, what's wrong with AMD? AMD's
no, I got hit on it. It's just,
okay.
I try to give only winning trades.
AMD's at the high of the day right now. The name that's not going just yet, I am in Peloton, and Mara is still going. I am going to have to dip by Mara. Bitcoin is headed down, and it kind of psyched me out. So I'll admit it. We ended up taking a 50-cent win on the last of it. It's now 70 cents if you held on to it. But I said Bitcoin was going down, and it still is. That's why we got out of it. ARM is now trying to get back above previous support levels. That's what I want to see. We like to dip by in ARM, but it was a little tighter to the $70 level than 71. So being patient might mean we've missed this trade. I don't think so. ARM was up like double-digit percentage points. I think we can be a little bit more patient there. But what is going? Shout out to everyone in the chat. The reason I jumped over to Peloton is because it was in the news making some moves. Rivian went green when Tesla's going absolutely nowhere. That is setting Rivian up for a challenge of the $20 level. It's not there yet, but we talked about this yesterday. It never got there. Today, I still like the notion of Rivian through 20. I think we have a chance here. So all of a sudden, this is a name that's coming into play. I keep saying Amazon 150 as if, and I really did think at the open we're going to get to this 150 a lot faster than this. It's already 10 o'clock, and we've now triple topped at 149.5. I still think Amazon 150 is going to be set up pretty nicely for a breakout zone, especially with the market attempting to go green in here. So we're just in Peloton. I think Mara's starting to dip now, so I will look to buy the dip here in Mara. Maybe VWAP, that's 25.40, the 25.5 spot that we had in there can be in play. If we get all the way back into 25, we like it at that price as well. But I've been pretty much focused on only a couple names here. We're going to strike Spirit off my list, but going to stay patient with some of these, especially the crypto names, as we're hanging on by an absolute thread in BTC.
Yeah, I got you, Fabian. All right. I just want to say that I've canceled all my offers for NVIDIA. Let's go to the moon. All right. Right now, 4+, $2 on AMD, 4+ on NVIDIA, and it's Adara at the desk.
Futures weaker today after a really strong day yesterday, led by a lot of tech strength. We had Nvidia closing at a new all-time high. All these semiconductor-related names still on watch as the Consumer Electronics Show kicks off. So keep an eye on everything in that world of semiconductors and big tech. Right now, though, we are a little bit weaker here to start off this Tuesday. Individual names moving. Google up a little bit here, despite some mixed catalysts. We did have BMO initiating coverage with an outperform rating for Google, and also news of Google's, a lawsuit related to its AI technology patent infringement claims. $7 billion lawsuits. Keep an eye on Google today. We also have Netflix getting a downgrade from Citigroup to neutral. So watch Netflix as well, down about 2%. Last but not least here, Boeing still to the downside, making a little bit of a recovery here, though, amidst loose bolts being found by United Airlines and Alaska yesterday, so keep an eye on Boeing as well. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million. Trade indices including the Dow, SP, Russell, NASDAQ, oil, gold, BTC, and Forex pairs. Go to surgetraders.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
All right. Thank you, Adara. We were $4. Now we're $5 in the money. So again, we talk about real trading. We talk about trades that you guys can actually make, things like that. So I think that's why, you know, the sticky notes actually really been something, and that's what's really helped me, is to try to find the best trades and just really look for them. And then when we're able to find them, we hit them. And that's something that, again, you know, it's been really interesting to see at NVIDIA here, and just how aggressive this thing likes to get. It's not even, it's just green now. It just turned green. So I am getting a little bit nervous about this 200 period. We've looked at it a couple times, and we do know that that is a bouncing spot for that. But again, like, where are we going to go from here is the question. I can only see higher. You know what? I'm going to cancel that. I was just going to wait for two. There we go. I was right here right now. But what are we even doing? It's now $6 in the money right now. We also do have Unity back in the pocket here again. This name we've lost on, right? But we just bought a dip into 36. I like that level a lot more. Maybe we can make this all back, man. Let's go. This is why you have to have confidence in what you're doing, right? I mean, you could start the day off a little bit rough, do what you're doing, use shares when you're confident, and then just move on, right? We talked about why I think this is the best business, and I hope that you're understanding and seeing why that is now, because you give yourself raises. That's how it works, right? There's no other business where that can happen unless you own the business. And right now, when you're trading, you own that business. This is your own small business. Take the risks as you guys want to, but right now we cruising, baby. Unity's a nice one, AMD's a nice one, and Nvidia's $5 in the money. So like right there again, now I'm thinking about taking it. We just stopped right at the 200 period MA, right? 1250 yesterday maximum. Right now 5 again. That's 1750. In one name. Like, well, you know, so let's just let's offer some more here on NVIDIA and make sure that we can get out properly here. So I'm going to put an offer right now at 524.30. Maybe just 524 is fine enough. So let's see if NVIDIA gets that one extra push higher, and we'll see if we can get it out. But so far, so good there. Unity's looking like it wants to just continue to go down. We got out of 50, yeah, only 50% there. Out of Unity. So this one could be another L right here, as it looks like it wants to break lower.
Yeah, the market's turning a little bit here. I just jumped out of Peloton. I'm trying to get into Intel. Let me just get my order on Intel. I'll get over to Peloton for you guys in a second. I like Intel at and under that 48 for weakness. We mentioned that before. Took the swing on it the first time. It didn't hit. I'm trying to get short right now again as we speak. But Peloton couldn't hold on to that first dip level. So we're right back at that 670 area. If it does get into pre-market, I guess where it closed yesterday, that could be a bit of a dip spot, but the market's starting to roll over. I did like Intel for some shorts, so that's where I jumped over to immediately. And you can see, like, as it was heading to the downside, I'm going to leave my orders in there and try to get picked back up on Intel because I still favor this one to the short. I like SPR if we're going to get back into 28, but it doesn't seem like we want to. So I want to stick to patience with this, a little bit tighter to the levels that we do like. I feel like we're not going to get this.
What happened to Peloton?
Peloton broke 70s. It was flying. We had the 80 long. It just broke the 70. So once again, that stock, I think one day it's gonna, if it can hold above 7, I think it's got like $1 in it, and probably want to have that trade every single time it happens. But until it does, you just have to be patient. We're getting a bit of a bounce up in SPR. This is the first time I think we get a challenge of the $28 level. So it's starting to come here. Hold on a second. Jack CW, thank you for the super chat here. Bought AM at $2 a share. Congratulations if you bought AM at $2 a share, first of all. Shout out to you. Congratulations. But yeah, that's a $27 stock. I'm trying to figure out how you managed to pull that one off.
$6, 524. Congratulations to that one, man. GFRS as well. People want to talk about. There it is, man. 524. So $6 winner right there on NVIDIA. What's good, Adara?
Illumina making a nice move to the high side, up 8.5% after releasing preliminary revenue above expectations. ILMN, guys.
That's, by the way, AM's the reason they're up that much is because they're getting bought. AM. So that is the reason for it. I am back into, like I said, back into Intel to the short side. That is the newest trade that we put on. Yeah, no, I know they were bought this week. It's just a $2 buy. Congratulations. When you get that, obviously at this point, like, you're not going to get much more because it does have a deal overhanging on it. I want to get back over to, well, you're already in Alibaba.
No, I've already. We're out of that one. Clear for you to get back in. You like it?
No. It's not about.
I haven't looked at it. That's why.
It's holding above pre-market highs. So I like the break down 71 to 70, but now it's holding above pre-market highs. The 73 level looks pretty solid in terms of resistance. So if you hold here, maybe give like a 71.50. Yeah, like 71.50 looks like that consolidation. So you have a bit of a bull flag forming. So look for the flat bottom break. Didn't work. Again, accidental trade that won, real trade that lost. So 71.50 looks like a good spot on a dip to go dip and rip. 73, it's got room to. But the new trade for me is going to be an old one, and that is 48 in Intel. I'm giving this to VWAP. I'm adding to it if I can. And now, finally, it looks like we're going to get that spot. Whoops, I went to ARM instead of Amazon. This nice bounce on Amazon, the market's heading higher. I don't think I'm going to wait for 150 on Amazon. I'm going to go long off the 149 into the 150 level. Amazon looks like it's almost too strong at this particular point. It's only 0.1% up, but it is green. It's holding VWAPs. It's making higher lows. So I want to grab this on Amazon if we can get that chance here. Going to grab some now. It could just be an ad at 150. That's always a possibility. Go long into it. But you can't. How long am I going to look at higher lows and not grab some of them?
All right, so it is confirmed, man. Campus is still, thank you, Brendo, for that. You just confirmed it. Still only available for Canadians. So if you are Canadian, make sure you do it ASAP. And by the way, guys.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's why.
I mean, AMD is through the roof again. I mean, you can see the positions right here that we have on board right now. This is $250 in the money. This is $6 in the money. And we're laughing a little bit here. We'll see if Unity can't go all the way back up to the upside. It's been back and forth here through 36. I'm going to wait for 36.50. Actually, let's just wait for a little bit higher. Let's wait for 36.66666. See if we can get that level to come into play here. There's a break of 50. We'll see if we can last somewhere up there. Maybe not, man. Unity has been a dumpster fire today. This is going to be, the biggest L for me because we haven't been able to catch it. We were able to catch a little bit there, then a little bit, then it dumped and LL Cool J. But the thing is like we are, AMD and Nvidia has been a good one. Nvidia's about to explode, says Adam DeLuz. Hey man, real see real, and I see you. So let's see what happens up to the upside right now. 528. I don't have any more offers. We'll see if this one wants to go. We did it yesterday. We're doing it again. See, the thing is, once you do it multiple days in a row, hopefully it just becomes normal. Like another $7 winner right now for Nvidia. I mean, again, we called these kind of plays. We talked about 520. Apparently, is a biblical reference, so we won't say as it was written, but as it was written, 520 long Nvidia, man. I mean, the problem is it dipped down, and the thing is that we did lose on that first take of Nvidia right there. So we bought 520, we got out at 520.70, then we got out at 518. It looks like, I guess, a break of 519. It looks like 518.85 or so. So out of a little bit there, but back in on the base, back in on the 520 break, trusting our read, then trusting it even more to the downside. And now, like I said, getting paid off to 650 now, 650, sorry, on that one. Unity might not be the one, guys. So we'll have to wait out to see if Unity goes back up to the upside. Let's check out in on Palantir, 1650. Some of these stocks right now, this is why it just showed up. You just hit the 200 period moving average right there on a 1 minute chart. But again, still red into a market that's screaming. Palantir is probably not it today. Let's just stay with what we're doing. Chip names, chip names, chip names. It's exactly what we said on the sticky. It's exactly what we said when we started the show. And it's a banger. I hope everybody is long the chip names.
Yes, sir. The market, by the way, even if Palantir, I always look at the top range. I know Palantir is down 0.8%, but if it can break the pre-market highs, sometimes that in and of itself is enough for me. Breaking out highs, Amazon just took the high. At some point, it's like it's an upward trending stock. So why wait for it to get to 150? Why not just look at the trend, observe it, and then buy the next available dip? It bounces off VWAP, it bounces off 149, it just took out the high of the day. I think 150 is an ad spot. I think the next dip is going to be an ad spot. I'm just going to quickly show you guys Bitcoin here because it's not ridiculously volatile, but it just made this bottom, 46.4. So there was a liquidity event this morning on BTC, kind of dropped 1,500, and then it recovered to 14.65. It just bounced off 14.65. So when that happened, I added back in tomorrow. I have 25 40s, going to give it to the 20s, and I want to get some out 60s, 80s on the way to 26 even. But Amazon was the newest position. We waited patiently for the next thing to set up, and Amazon looked really good and showed us strength. Like other things weren't trading sort of as the plan was expected, but this showed us strength, so we just observe it and then join the trend here on Amazon. The other thing that's going crazy is Tesla. 3% to the downside.
Really?
233, now double bottom. Now the 200 period moving average on the daily is 231 or 230, like 60 or 70 or something like that. So you're getting real close. The 200 period moving average is a big level that I like on the daily. I mean, if I see 231 today, it's going to be difficult for me not to try a bid on this. But Tesla is absolutely flushing as the market is rebounding. But 31, I'm just pointing it out. That'll be the spot that I look for because of the 200 period moving average on the daily chart for Tesla.
Even though we don't have any shares left, yeah, good call there on Tesla.
Yikes.
We still have, I mean, it's still $6 in the money, and so is AMD. So we're going to have to sort of ease back on that. We did take one last stab at Unity. If it doesn't hold this 36, then forget about it. So we're long right now at 36.03. I do have an offer. It just stopped at 17, so I put an offer at 17. Maybe we'll get that fill, bang. It's still my worst stock is Unity. So it's like we're just sort of celebrating that we're able to get that fill. And then again, you know, no matter what happens throughout the day, you got to figure it out. What's up, Jay Lee? If anyone has the background, I'm hoping you do. Why does Boyle not appear to actually follow nat gas? Because isn't Boyle a levered, right? And so the thing is that if you're invested in these things, you are making a huge mistake. These things do not follow the way you think they do. They may follow it for a day, they may follow it for a month, but like for a long time investment, because you have to buy options, it just keeps on degrading the value of the stock because you got to pay those premiums. And so if you're looking for like a bounce back play, like you think nat gas can go today, 1%, then yeah, Boyle will go 3%, right? I believe it's a 3 times there. So you got, or maybe it's a double actually. So that's part of it, is the option, the time value there and everything, having to keep on flipping over with options. But all right, so I hope that helps. You could just Google it. Why are inverse, or why are ETFs, what's the word I'm looking for? Double time ETFs or whatever, ultra ETFs, not great investments.
Or just type that in DK, and I think you'll be good.
Yeah. DK.
No, like
What is that?
Just basically because you're looking at the decay of value.
Oh, DK. Yes.
Not.
I thought you were talking about DK Metcalf.
Not like
over
DK.
there.
Yeah, it's not like DK Metcalf. Like decay is in.
Right.
Yeah.
Decay.
I shouldn't have said DK. It's decay.
Decay. Yes.
You know what? You got to enunciate properly up in here, as I say it up in here, tongue in cheek.
That is proper.
But that is true. That's my bad. You know, most of you probably know what I meant, but we should be precise about those things for those that are trying to learn. I still like Uber. I mentioned this name possibly taking out the top. Well, it looks like it wants to take out that top. What did I say about Amazon? Why wait for it to get there if it's looking strong? That's insanity. It's above yesterday's high. So why am I not already long when it recovered above yesterday's high? Stupid. I'll rectify that if there's any kind of drop into VWAP here. I'll look to take that into the high of the day. Mara just got back to the 60s, so that's looking good. But the next thing is going to be Uber. I want to check back in on Intel because as the market goes up and Amazon's the money and I'm looking for some Uber and Mara goes back in the money. I'm back to Intel. I feel like this is like the one for me short. Like if it fails 48, I could see 47.5 or 47. But I am acknowledging it doesn't seem like it wants to make that next push into the downside. I'm going to give it to 10s here. I know it's only risking.
Oh my God.
Probably about, actually I'll give it to like 12 something. Give it about 12 cents because the market is screaming into the upside. But I want to add to Uber. I want to add to Amazon on the next available dip. We already added tomorrow. But Uber, I should already be long because it broke above yesterday's tops. As a matter of fact, I might just wet the beak here just to get a piece. We're already breaking yesterday's highs.
I cannot believe how good of a trade this Alibaba is turning out to be. And this trade, honestly, I put it out there because it was at the 200 period, but it's silly because I should not have had this trade at 50. You know, like we took one out at 40, I went 40, 50, 65 there. So it was still about a 50-cent win. And it was during sort of some of that NASDAQ move to the downside. But as we start to take out some highs, let's go, man. What a great day it's been here today. Thank you so much for watching. But yeah, there it is, Scott H. Alibaba continues, man, to make those moves higher. Wow, taking out 72 now. Yeah, man, maybe join the damn party on that one. Google, as being a large holding in my account, pretty happy right now from 138 to 140. The only thing I'm not happy about is that I wrote down on here, get long at 137, but there was no dip buy. And I told you today, remember, I mean, we were down 0.8%. And I wrote down, again, on the sticky note and told you guys that I was actually bullish today. So maybe that's why, if you're confident in the way that you're going with stocks, we had the long in I have no shorts today. No shorts. Long in Alibaba, long in Unity, mistake. Long in AMD at day's high. Long in Nvidia at, you know, pretty much a good level there. So all these stocks are paying out to the long side, but I'm just feeling like I just don't want to get out. Like, I honestly think that we could extend into Greensville today. So if we do that, then again, what kind of a day are we going to have if we hold on to some of these things? So the only stock that continues to fail is Unity. Good job, Reliable Rudy, there, man. I think that you might be onto something with Alibaba, but China needs to figure itself out. Here's a good break level right now about to happen, and it's everybody's favorite big blue. It's Ford right now coming through. So yeah, Randy off today, I think. I haven't seen him around. But right here, 11, I just think we could break this. Now, I don't know if this is a trade where you want to use a lot of shares or not, but obviously it's Ford. It's not going to move around too much, but it's just like taking this out. You still have $12. I mean, a $12 break would be much, much better, but I thought this looked a little bit better. Like I thought we could take down this 11.90 and then sort of get up to $12. But even if you do that, you're going to run into problems like at 94, 95. And then if the market turns around, you're going to be stuck buying the top with a lot of shares. Yo, what's up, Russell Jackson?
But you can always stop out for a couple cents if you want to.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's to each their own, but I'm not, you know, it's not like, just like Peloton, you know, it's like, this is the problem. It's like, you know, you get stopped out there. I don't know if you did. I'm just saying, like, back to the 200 period, and then it rips back up again. It's like, a part of it is...
My stop was a little bit up.
Was a little bit higher, yeah. So
yeah, exactly.
It's just about finding your outs. That's right. You could use more shares if your out is close.
Yeah, like if Fisker gets to $1, I'm going to have, I mean, I'll be probably long at 1.5 is usually an average price that's reasonable for me to have if it gets down there. And then my stop is going to be about as tight as you can imagine it. But I want to, look, I just saw in the chat there, someone just said, where was it? That was, it was Dave. That was the dip of a lifetime on Mara. Today was a good dip. It held 25, then it held a higher low at 25.20. And yes, it is at 25.75. I'm showing you this. Yesterday was the dip of a lifetime on Mara. There's nothing wrong today. That's a good move. You can get 2-3% on a bounce. That's great. Mara at $22.50 was that's more the dip of the lifetime. So it's everything in perspective. Never expect it to be as good when it's a ridiculous day of the day before. I'm not expecting Mara to go to $30, which would be the equivalent today. If it gets to 26 and 27, I'd be perfectly happy as we take some out on the way to the upside. So it has been good, but again, yesterday was ridiculous. I did get into Uber to wet the proverbial beak. It is still trading at that high, looking to break out the top. It's above yesterday's highs. It did recover that after an early fail. So I want to be long into VWAP. I think you could see 60. I know there was some bad news on it, but that didn't make us shy away. Amazon is finally, all right, now I probably just jinxed it. Okay, it's at 150 now. So Amazon 150 has come in. I was looking for another dip buy before it got here, but the break is about to hit on Amazon as we just got in. All right, so I just added to it on the 150 break on Amazon. Would have loved for a dip buy as well. Let's see how far this one can go. I just think it's such a key level. Going back up here to the 15-minute, it is a pretty key level, and you've got room to the 51, which was, I think that was Tuesday of last week. Or was it Tuesday? No. It was Wednesday of last week. The top was like a 151 even. So I think that's like your first stop. Amazon moving to the upside. The market is trying to go green here. This has been green the whole morning and showing you that strength.
It's another $8. Wow. We just talked about people making their months yesterday. Go back-to-back jacks right now. What's up, Adara?
Lots of small caps moving this morning. As per usual, Katera Inc. here, really strong. CUTR trying to get another pop to the upside here after raising its revenue expectations for 2023. NGM Bio, NGM is going to be the ticker for this one, also trading to the upside, up over 30% after announcing data for its trial for tumor treatment. So watch this one as well. Last but not least, not seeing any news in this one, but Microcloud Hologram, Chinese-based hologram technology company, up over 35% right now. HOLO is the ticker. 12 million share float, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much there. This is one of those days where, like, I am looking at a couple of small caps. Trust me, I am. It's just, if Fisker gets there, I'll be on it. That's the only one. Amazon for the break. It hit the 150. You'll see my price isn't exactly 150 for obvious reasons. I was in the long already. I took some out for a scalp trade, and then we were able to add to it at the 50 level. So I do have like 93 price. I want to give this pretty much 50 cents. So right underneath that lower high. If I think 151 is the next stop up, it gives me some places to add as well. Ooh, I just got out and we rang the register. I hit that key because those little things in there, those are like little Bitcoins, if you guys have never seen that before. Just quickly, when I say 151, on the 15-minute chart, if I think we have room to 151, I want to give it a chance to get up there. So looking at yesterday's afternoon high, that's about that 149.50. That's where I want to give it to. Mara, as always with my strategy, I'm typically going to take some tops. So when we get to yesterday's resistance up in here at 26 30s and 40s, that's where I'm going to jump out of the trade. So it has been a good dip buy, not nearly as epic as it was yesterday on Mara, but it's been pretty darn good. If we get to 27, we gave our thoughts about the 27 level for a breakout. I think that can be a second or third trade at that particular point, but the arrows are firmly pointed up for this individual. I mean, I do want to stick to the long, just looking for that next opportunity. We're absolutely flying on the market. I don't know if we get green in the next, like before we hand off at 11 o'clock, but it does feel like the market certainly wants to get there. We're 0.3. At one point, we were down almost 1% on the NASDAQ, and now we're 0.3 away from going green. I will respect overhead resistance on the futures here at that 16.8. On the NASDAQ, if we get there, maybe look to trim some things. But one thing that I'm not necessarily at the point of like I want to double down, but in the midst of that entire move, I'm still in this Intel short, and Intel, it could be gearing up for a huge run. But on the 15-minute, all it's doing is holding the bottom. And I'm poised at that 48 level. If something is going to flush, I don't have bids, and I should probably put some bids at the low. But if something is going to flush, this is set up, still down 0.8%. If it decides to catch up, I might have to think about reversing this through like 48.20 or so. But as long as it holds this pocket, it's still looking pretty good. So Mara, we're out of it. We'll look for a re-entry point on that one. I did say I like Tesla at 231 for a bottom. It didn't quite get there. I see 233 as the current low. So it's unfortunate because I'll tell you right now, with the market doing what it's doing, if we were at 231 here and it was doing the same higher low, I think I'd like to trade a heck of a lot better. I'm liking the notion of trying to find a bottom here, and I don't mind getting something in. But I have to ask the question, do I want to wait for 231? Do I want to try to risk maybe a buck here on Tesla? My gut's telling me to wait, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm away from Unity a little bit, and I was looking for ARM. As everything is breaking higher, ARM just got to VWAP now. So as I was patient waiting for the setup happening in Mara to give us that long, I think I was too patient in ARM because it's actually been putting in higher lows the entire way. If I did the same thing in ARM as we were doing on Mara, I'd already be long here and here, but we can still join it if it holds on to VWAP at this next level, which seems like the 72.
All right. Again, thank you for all the nice messages there on Twitter, on X, on Instagram, and all that. Just go find it, man. We post everything up all day. Go find that. And also, we had, again, one of the best shows last night on the Market Recap Show. Thank you to Michael Nasser. We talked about everything, man. We talked about Bitcoin. We talked about some levels for crypto. We talked about XLV. We talked about some of the ETFs that we really liked. We even talked about some names that we liked. We talked about uranium last night. We talked about some metal plays. We talked about gold last night on the Market Recap Show. So do that, man. For me, it's the most fun I have on any show. So if you're into energy, excitement, and just, different kind of guests, CMTs, charting, sectors, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you join it. And by the way, I guess we can announce it. It's now a podcast as well. So go down, find it, go download it. It's on Amazon. That podcast, as well as the Market Recap Show, now has a podcast as well due to overwhelming demand. So thank you so much for that. It just means a lot. The minute that show, that idea was there, man, it was all about that. So let's wait to see. All right, so Spotify. No, I saw there was on Amazon Music. I thought we got. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Spotify for now will be. Everything, exactly. Everything right now. You guys are speaking for yourselves, man. You guys want the content we deliver. It'll be another podcast again coming up on Friday. We'll be on Saturday, but we'll be filming that. All right, Unity, just real quick, man. I don't know if this name's gonna work. It's probably not. This is too many times down here at 36. We'll try it one more time. We're loaded up. We're at O's right now. If it works, great. I just wonder I thought I was getting out at 9s there. No, I'm not. I'm at 10s. Great. Just stops at 10. Unbelievable. Anyways, this is a name that Kathy could come in and just start sweeping it up. So let's see if Unity does get bought up down here, down 8% on restructuring. I thought it was good news. Obviously, no one else did. So Unity downside as well. AMD.
It's still good.
I hope
restructuring is good news.
Yeah, sorry,
it's just the market doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. The good news is Nvidia, though. That's $6, but it was $7 in the money, all the way up here at $5.26. Check that, $8 in the money. But we're just still going to let it go because, honestly, yesterday we took 12 and it went 22. So let's just be patient. We also did think that the market had a chance to get positive, but you're still not back to that 16.8 level. But it's nice that we took 16.7 and are above VWAP, so all is well over here. To me, it's really just Unity now. We're going to wait for AMD and we're going to wait for Nvidia. So other than that, man, we'll take another fill there at 11s and let's see if Unity can get going. This is going to be a big trade, man. There it is, 18s. Let's go. Spinning it again and again and again here as crypto right now 46.7 and right on time. It's 10:30 and 3 seconds. Let's go Unity. Let's go Nvidia. Let's go AMD and let's go Adara.
Crypto, as always, stuff to talk about here lately, especially with the ongoing anticipation for the spot Bitcoin ETF. According to this CoinDesk article, this was as of early this morning, over the past 24 hours before this article, $155 million in shorts were liquidated over the past 24 hours from that point amidst crypto futures. So crypto bears having a rough time yesterday amidst all the excitement for that spot Bitcoin ETF. Also, just of note here as well, SPCE Chair Gary Gensler tweeting yesterday regarding basically telling people, be safe, be cautious when investing in crypto. So just a note there as well from, I guess, SEC related there. In terms of crypto itself, Bitcoin just below this 47,000 area here, holding on really well to this 46.7 area here. As you saw, we did have a really nice piece of strength here yesterday. Going to see if we can continue, but not a bad look for Bitcoin right now today. Bitcoin, yeah, really strong here, up 4% and a bit. Solana also really strong, above that 100 level, up 6% and a bit. Ethereum more or less flat on the day right now, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it's more of a Bitcoin. It's been a Bitcoin move, man. It's like the altcoins haven't really been participating as well, right? Like when Bitcoin goes down, they go down. But when Bitcoin has been going up the last couple of days, they're not really going anywhere. What is going up is Uber. There was bad news for Uber this morning. There's no question about it. I think anything that puts pressure on gig workers being full-time is not going to be necessarily good news, but the price action is what it is. So as we're looking for names that were strong, this wicked the bottom, it made higher lows. So instead of waiting for it to take out the top, explain that I wanted to get wet the beacon here into that high of the day, and now we're starting to break out. I got an ad here at 35, and I took some out in front of 59.50, mostly because of what the market just did. Like the market just made a bit of a right-hand turn here at an overnight level. Instead of getting to 16.8, we ended up wicking the overnight resistance spot here, let's call it like 16.75, and turn back in. So I said take some profit out because I hadn't done so on Uber, and looks like it was probably the right call. Amazon is still trying to go. I don't know if we're going to breach that 150 breached that 150 again. We're in the long looking for a 151 push on Amazon, but if it cannot hold on to 149.50, we're just gonna have to jump out of Dodge. I have one short trade on right now, and it's Intel. I was looking for a couple of other things that I wanted to fade, and Intel's the one that's set up for me, so that's the one that I'm in. Spirit was the other one that I kind of liked. Ooh, that actually, I was about to say Spirit was strong over 28, which I didn't like. It was either 28.60 or 28 even for me on Spirit. We don't get to 28.60. Could just trade it here off the pre-market high. I'm looking for some shorts that are setting up. I like relative weakness to try to be able to go in both directions. Uber's still working, Amazon not yet, and Tesla is pretty darn close to the 200 period on the daily. I see a lot of people in the chat, where do you buy Tesla? Look, it's falling like a rock. I'm just pointing out that the 200 period moving average right in front of that 230 level. So if we get to 231, I start looking longs on Tesla.
Dare's got something?
Mobileye making a really nice move to the upside here, up almost 3%, earlier announcing that it's expanding its relationship with Mahindra and Mahindra in India with regards to exploring advanced driving technology. So keep an eye on MBLY coming back after a pretty rough week to the downside last week, guys.
All right, so how does a $7 winner turn into a $1.50 winner? Because you average in. So now this just drops back into VWAP. We just took a bid here at 5. I'll tell you I think 33s. 33s. So it's not 522.33. It's not going to drop too much below 21.50 here, and if it does, then we're going to get out of that right now. If the trend is broken and we continue to make that move lower, we will always be buying VWAP, but on stocks that we like. We talked about Nvidia today, just now going positive, while it went positive on the VWAP break initially, but now just trying to figure itself out. So again, in trying to make money, sometimes you have to buy things a little bit higher, and we're going to try that out right now on Nvidia. This time, if we get back to 526, let's just take it out because we've got double the shares. So we'll see if that's a possibility for us at some point. Unity, again, makes that move all the way to the upside, and we're going to have to wait for that. All the way to the upside. I mean, it got almost to the 50 period. Our best out there was 29s on this 36 long. So we're able to make a little bit of money on that trade, although we've been wrong on Unity. It will be my Redis stock today here, position pending, but as the market comes back in a little bit, it doesn't look like Unity wants to hold. So I thought it would have been to the moon now, and it's not. So really, the only thing that I'm looking at right here, we just reloaded Nvidia. I don't think there's a trader in the world that would take 30 cents. So let's wait to see what happens with Nvidia now. We just reloaded it. You could take 40 cents now if you want. We're not doing that. That seems insane. Here we go. Right back up to the upside. It's $1, almost, it's 80 cents now in the money on the reloaded position for NVDA. Let's see if we can test higher. There it is. There's the reload at VWAP. Again, if you want to take the $1 or 80 cents, it was right there for you. I'm going to wait for a little bit higher. This is what we say, man. You can always ask us. If we're up or down on names or whatever, we'll have no problem telling you. But see, this is an example where I'm in Nvidia. You could take profit if you wanted to, or you can just trade off some of the levels that I'm discussing. So completely up to you what you want to do, but I'm going to wait for highs here. Let's just put one at 5. I mean, the high is 526. Let's see if we get lucky enough and get something above this 525 right now for Nvidia. But we'll wait for it. It's really just, I mean, Unity's, yeah. And then AMD's $1. Oh, you know what we didn't look, or sorry, AMD's $3. $1. Psh. Tilray, remember when I said this stock was just going to be up in smoke anyways? Look at this, man, 220, sorry, down now 5%. You know, this stock being up was all smoke and mirrors anyways. So let's see where we go from here on Tilray. Probably just look to buy that dip at 215. And then just quickly before I go back, we did have that news about CGC that kind of came out of nowhere. This one's actually going the other way.
You know what happened? SSR bounce. I didn't even think about it.
Flush. Yeah, good bounce. I mean, really good bounce off that. 440 all the way back up to 460. So CGC still looking like it's dead. And then there's Nvidia, guys. Let's go.
Here we go. Oh, what am I? I'm not doing the DAC thing. Damn it. I was trying not to actually say that. Is the market breaking highs, Uber looking good, Amazon's going for me, Nvidia's going for Sean. The reason I'm mad about CGC, if it wasn't a weed stock, anything that goes down 10% with that kind of a profile and short interest, usually I'm thinking SSR bounce. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't even think about it with CGC. I was just thinking if it breaks the bottom, go short. but it did go down 10%. And look at the pullback. That's what you look for. It's a bit of a scalp trade, but if you can get it, you can get it. I don't know why I wasn't considering down 10%. Look for, it's got a decent short flow too. Like everything about that sets up for an SSR bounce. I want to get some out of Uber as that just popped the highs. So we grabbed the long in Uber, noticing the relative strength, liquidity grab underneath, breakout yesterday's top, look for the long. We just got 59.66 out. Amazon, I'm offering in the, I think I have my first offer. That's maybe too far. Let's park it in the 30s in here on Amazon. We're now back above the 150. Started it at yesterday's top and then added to it at the 150. Looked for a little bit more dip buying, but I think Amazon through that 150 has some room to go. If you're wondering why not scalp more, I just feel as if we should be testing with the market going. If the market goes red to green, I don't see why we don't get back into here, the 150.50 into the 151 level here on Amazon, as it's absolutely flung. I'm out of Mara. Congratulations if you're holding on to that one, but I jumped out of my Mara trade. And maybe too early, but I liked it in front of the pre-market eyes. I just think that overhead resistance at 27 is kind of a big deal. So I want to respect that level of 27 on Mara. If it dips from there, maybe look for another long back into 26 could be, or a 27 breaks very much in play. And for the one short, as the market goes higher, I'm telling you, Intel doesn't want to move. When my 15-minute chart and all of these shorts, I've been short 3 times on Intel here, it's just not going anywhere. So nice condensation going on. If the market does flush, I think I've got a weak one, but at some point it's either going to be like a 10 to 15 cent hit, probably 12, or it's going to be a nice winner to the downside. But it is the long that is working. You just had to be nice and patient today looking for it. Patience is a virtue, and then it has been a good one there. I don't know, I'm not getting, my earpiece isn't working, so I'll let you guys know when we're ready for Sector Watch. I don't think it's just yet.
Look, John, you're not the only one around here that's missing some of these chip names, guys. I mean, look at John. I want to say I'm unlucky to have missed on the Nvidia calls from me yesterday and today, but that's no excuse. You're right, it's no excuse. Sticky notes available. No, just joking. I was stupid. The writing was on the sticky note. Yeah, sure it was. But again, look at this. There we go. Now $4. Thank you, John, for all of that. Don't be so hard on yourself right there, because like I said, man, there's lots of people that miss these rips, and you got to be looking at them. And that's why I put out that sticky note, right? It's just a matter of things I'm looking at and why not look there. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, all right, I was waiting for 526 right there, but we just hit 525 top. So, you know what? Let's take a piece out if we can get something here. We just made clean again. It's like some people work all day to get $3, $4, $5 winners. You got to trade on Nvidia. Not many shares if you're going to risk. If you're going to try to make $2 or $3 like this play is, you know, if you're going to hold it $2 or $3 against you, you have to understand the risk management, man. I mean, there's more and more people, and we just tagged Brian Shannon because of this VWAP trade. There's so much education out there, and you know, Brian and myself, we all talk about risk management. And that's what it is, man. I consider myself a risk manager, and we're managing risk pretty damn good right there as we take another one out right there on the reload, man. VWAP to 200 period. That's the style that I like. Nice out there. And that one was just, and we just put this on. So again, like I just said, that was $2.10 in 7 minutes or less than that. So nice play to the upside. You can have them as well. Just be patient, be disciplined, and yeah, keep sticking with us, man. I told you you're rocking with the best, and now you're rocking with another one here at the big screen. She's in green, and good move, because we were thinking the market had some upside today, and it looks like it does, and it's a Dara at the screen.
Certainly lots of upside in health technology. A lot of these health stocks to the upside. Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, all to the high side right now. Probably the most overall green sector we have. We have a little bit more of mixed sentiment here in retail trade. A lot of things in gray here. Consumer services as well, and health services a little bit of green, but mostly pretty neutral. Lots of weakness in consumer services, energy, minerals, consumer durables, led very much by Tesla to the downside here. Producer manufacturing as well, finance pretty much right across the board. And of course, we also have technology services and electronic technology. Electronic technology, with the exception of AMD pretty weak or neutral, but all of these chip-related names are on watch as we have the Consumer Electronics Show going on this week. So keep an eye on the semiconductors and chips. We also have in technology services, Google a little bit green here, despite its patent infringement suit for $7 billion. So keep an eye on Google for sure. A little bit weaker across the board though for the rest of the sector, and Netflix with the Citigroup downgrade, guys.
Yeah, I like that look.
What's great about that is, like, I mean, Tesla, as it should today, stands out like a sore thumb on that list, does it not? I mean, it's ridiculously red, but look, I'll get to Amazon in a quick
Sorry, what
second.
was red? Ridiculously red?
Tesla.
Okay.
I mean, Tesla down it's 0.3, it's 3% to the downside, but it's as you look at the big cap tech names, which are actually finding some good tops and finding a good rebound, it's not necessarily going down. It's going up with the rest of the group. I'll quickly show you Intel. This is the one that I like for the short. The market just took out the high. I said I would give it to 12s. We gave it to 12s. I've been short this stock twice and lost twice. The key is going to be like risk to reward. Lose twice on this. I always like a winning stock to make up for 2 losers on something else. Generally speaking, sometimes 3, depends on how much something moves, but you can never necessarily predict that. So we take 2 hits there, but we keep it in pocket. That's how you sort of stay green on these names. Obviously, it would be nice to still be in Mara. I took my target out. I thought we'd be dipping back in and retesting like 25.9, something along those lines. We're not. We're just continuing to go into that $27 level. As Mara churns here, it's not as if you're getting a ridiculous move in Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin just got to 47,000 and turned around as Mara was just churning and churning and churning higher. So I want to be very patient. Patience has worked for me very well today. Didn't think it would be as easy as yesterday with some of those, you take a breakout and it just runs forever. But today, patience has been a virtue. So going with the trend, not fighting it, moving to the name that's just setting up a bit of an easier trend to the upside. Mara trending up, that's why we're in it. Amazon trending up, that's why we're in it. Uber trending up as well. So Uber pretty much off the bat was actually strong. So now it's approaching that 60 level. If it gets to 60, just want to show you on the 15-minute chart. You know how I roll. 60 breaks, I probably look for another trade in there. It's hard to see, but that initial flush through 61, that morning it stalled out at the 60 level, made another right-hand turn to the downside. So 60 is where I want to get out on this Uber trade. Not quite like $1, but I am looking for that next resistance point to the upside. So if you're looking for the power up, it's all about finding that next trade. I saw someone say they were frustrated, missing out on some moves, and all you can do is move on to the next. Right? Like stick to what works for you. If you like joining trends, look for stocks that are trending to buy dips. If you like breakouts, wait for something to break out. If you like dip buys, wait for your levels to come in and go pick those up. Just do whatever works for you. The market's always going to give you something. At 9:35, it didn't look that great. At 10:45, okay, I should have said 9:45, it didn't look that great. At 10:45, it looks fine. It looks fantastic. That's how the market's going to be. So that's what you got to do. Be very patient. And I will look at NYSE. It's 1 John 1.9. It's just been a big cap kind of morning, and that's where the gains have been. I understand you've got some of these low float runners that are doing their low float running ridiculous thing. NYSE is one of them. I find if you're trading this, you're trading this. So that's why I'm not really trading it, but it is breaking the high of the day. I'm expecting it's probably going to halt a time or two on this breakout. It's just another one of those low float splitters, and now taking out the high once again. It's halted twice today, but actually check that 3 times. It halted down, but trying to break out the current high of the day on NYSE. Sometimes you just got to trade in your style. We've been on these before, but this is not the day where I want to be on them.
All right, just a big shout out right here. We just tagged up here Brian Shannon talking all about this trade here on Nvidia. And then, of course, I hashtagged trading community, and education, because that's the whole point, man. In the market recap show, we are going to have on today Brian Shannon. Again, author, great follow on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm going to ask him if he has an Instagram account as well. But he wants to talk about it at the close. So I say yes, sir, to that one. Join me every single day on that market close as we do a lot of work for that. So we want to definitely make sure that you guys can check it out. All right, Peloton, new trade alert. I'm going long against 650, end of story. Let's see if it wants to work. I like the story. I like the name. We'll see if it goes. A little bit of a reload here on Unity, but it's still not doing anything, so screw off. And then AMD right now. Again, Unity just keeps on hitting lower. Like we had it above 36. I'm just going to hold it. If it breaks down through 75, we're out of Unity, and we'll call it a day on that one. That's for sure. So I have basically a very, very small amount of shares here on Nvidia. We just took some out as it went back through again. So that's enough, man. We have a very, very small piece. We will hold it. It just broke through where we went long there. So now we'll hold a small piece and see if something can happen here with Nvidia. Good stock for us today. Obviously, my number one P&L. So we continue to watch that. Unity finally trying to go back up again. We just got a O's fill, or sorry, a 96 or 97 fill. So that seems to be working out again. And then there we go with Unity. Let me just check in on some pink sheets right here. GBTC. We talked about it. Neil traded Mara, 46. By the way, Obi's in the building here for the midday again. What a great job he did yesterday. As Sharif keeps going to the gym and keeps getting sick, I told him. 39.40, down 39.30. Watch out for that level coming through right there, possibly on GBTC, just because it's been the high before, but you're definitely going to want to watch some crypto. And here we go, man. Again, been a bad stock, so let's take profit out on Unity. All it has to do is get to VWAP. If it could get there, we'd be flat, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We're 20 cents in the money on Unity. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, man. Look at this Peloton trade. You guys want to talk about someone who's just on one? I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, this is the kind of trading that we're trying to do. Let this thing base. Find reasons to go long. There it is right there. Instantly in the money, Peloton. Boom. You know, be patient, wait for it, and take your shots, baby. So there it is. Shots fired right at you, Peloton. And that's because I looked and I was like, wow, my net is ripping here. Why is that? And it's because of Peloton. So we crushed this last week. It was probably one of the best trades again all week. Let's see if we could do it again here on Peloton. Something up to VWAP would be great, but we're at the 50-period MA. So, like, if we can have this move, we'll do it on Peloton, man. We're still here, so let's go very, very soon. What's up, Jameson, and everybody in the chat?
What up in the chat? This is one that'll, well, I'm going to show this one, and I promise you, Amazon back at the high of the day. It's working nicely. But do you know what's down 1.8% and not working? It's a firm. And the daily chart, the 15-minute chart is going to tell you why I should be short this name. It gave it a nice little top, but look at 45.20. Always put me on to the next, right? Like this hop at 45.20. If the market's breaking higher and a firm's not going, you should be looking for some shorts here. So if it gets back up to 45, or maybe just a VWAP play as well.
Here we go.
Looking for a little bit of a firm to the south side, but it's a little bit late, as I said, late to the party. Amazon continues to work. Uber is really close to that that $60 level. So I think we're going to get one more push. If it breaks this high and I don't get touched above 59.90, then I'm looking to trail it at that particular point, as finding the trend has been your friend here today. So just be very, very patient. Wait for your spot. That has worked today. As I said, it wasn't easy today, but limit the losses. Don't fight anything, and then look for a couple of things that are trending into the upside, and you'll be good. Speaking of which, I could see Tesla. It's now put in a first high. It's putting in a higher low. We didn't get to 231, but it is putting in a higher low. If this can join the party, this market is probably going to go green if Tesla can get to VWAP.
And I hope you guys joined me on the Peloton trade, because if you did, then Currency Connection and Money Mayhem might be for you. It's Adara, and it's Money Talks.
Nice push to the upside for the DXY after moving down a little bit yesterday. No economic news today, but we do have lots of economic news on the horizon this week, including CPI and PPI on Thursday and Friday, respectively. We also did have yesterday, from CNBC here, Fed Governor Bowman speaking on rates. So basically saying that hikes are probably over, but they're not maybe ready to cut rates just yet. So that could be what's making this nice move to the upside for the DXY on this Tuesday, guys.
Yeah, Peloton. Now people are even DMing me Peloton, so thank you so much. I mean, I just hope you guys are in it, because we are, so it's been a good one for sure here today. There's not much else, man. We're just gonna hold NVIDIA. It dipped down right into our level there. We got some out. We're still holding a piece, but it's like 5 to 10% of anything that we had before. So let's see if it, I mean, look, still will be a better trade to have it be a winner than a loser. So we'll see if it can get back up to the upside. Look, man, it's 10:52. I just want to thank everybody for watching and make sure that you definitely do this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you do it today. What's up, Adara?
SHOP, Shopify, very much to the upside, up almost 2% right now. News of a partnership with X, basically not a lot of information specifically on this right now, but it will enable all Shopify merchants to reach more customers as they're putting it through the power of X. So keep an eye on Shop with this X partnership, guys.
8-0 on Shopify in the daily chart. If you're trading Shopify, make sure you've zoomed out and looked at that daily chart. 8-0, if we can come to my chart once, kind of twice, and potentially thrice today. Shop on that news looks like it wants this top. That is a clear and clean, obvious flat top potential breakout. Look, it's not a breakout until it actually breaks a level. So I don't want to sit here yelling, saying, "Oh, Shop never broke 80." What are you talking about, Neil? Look, it has to get there, but it's an obvious level at that 82 watch, and maybe it happens in the midday. Maybe we're talking about size on the level 2, which is going to be the lesson, level 2 and time of sales, and we get to tape read that as it goes. I'm going to be on at 12, joining just every single day. I'm going to be on at 12, kind of adding something to the lesson, and that's what it's all about. You want to be learning, but you also want to be finding opportunities. So shout out to Adair for bringing that story a couple of times. Just make sure you're waiting for the key price levels. Just want to go back over to something here, because I did say on Uber, the plan of action when we got into this long, or well, if it broke this, holding this long, is it broke that high. If we either get to that 60 and tag me out in front of it, or I'm going to trail it out. So now you're breaking that top. The market is kind of struggling at those highs. I'm going to give it back into the 75 level here on Uber. This was a case of finding something strong, playing off the levels, and then just joining that trend. But if we can't get to 60 here, then we're just going to jump out of that trade. We're still in Amazon. I want to give that a little bit more room. And I mean, Tesla, I don't know what to tell you about Tesla. It's trying to creep up a little bit higher here. I might have missed the boat on Tesla. The market's pulling back in. That's not the time to try to go for Tesla longs.
No, but we are going to go long in AMD here and see if we can get another bid. So we are $2 in the money, but that's going to change because we're taking this bid right here. 146.50. I feel like the 200 period is really, so we'll just take a small little, I mean, look at that. Honestly, like we just take that fill and then this happens. Like this is what we're doing, man, over and over and over again. Nice trade there on AMD. I don't know what else to say. That was just a good one there. So look what we just did. We just got it long there at 12s, out 30s in less than 1 minute. I don't know, man. Brian Shannon VWAP, you know, he'll come on the after show. All right, so we've already talked about that. I'll do some more dip buys now because we just got out. So if we can reload this a little bit down here, we will do that again. And then we're going to watch out for 146.50, a much bigger reload down here at 146.70. But there it is, man. We just did it again. So there it goes. Good move back up. I'm going to put some bids down below because you guys know where I'm going to be sitting if this does come back down, and then we'll wait to see for a bigger move higher right now. So yeah, man, all is good. Reloaded $1 on Nvidia. We've already taken that profit. I feel like, you know, other than this dropping out, I really feel like it's a master class there on Nvidia today, because it's just like what Bears vs. Bulls said in the chat. This happened exactly the way we wrote it down. We knew that Nvidia was going to be a difficult trade off the open. We did trust ourselves with our 520 read. That was okay. But the thing is, once it ripped down $1, and I actually waited about $1.30, it looks like, 518.60 we wound up getting out. I guess it was probably breaking 75. So we waited for that. That good. Good thing we did that because it did flush. I might have got out 517 or something. Once it started to baseline, we took the shot again there at 520, thinking, okay, we got flushed out, no problem. Then we wanted to average it in against that bottom, and then it was Rip City, Nvidia, the #1 P&L name here for me today. So there it goes, man. Nice move on that one. Let's see if we can rinse and repeat that on AMD as well. Alibaba, really a good opportunity there early, just to review some of these trades. And we'll be reviewing it again on the after show, and even on the midday, not the midday, sorry, the afternoon show when we come back at 2 o'clock. We'll probably be going over some of these things as well. But straight up to the upside right now. And if you want to hear, like yesterday we had Michael Noss on, that recap show is now a podcast. So you could probably go find, is it on YouTube as well? Yeah, it always is. Go on YouTube, go find it on YouTube, and then go find it on Twitter. We're streaming on Twitter, YouTube, not Twitch, nothing else. But we are right now podcasting that up back due to popular demand. So thank you so much for that, as well as, there we go, man. This is why we're sit back and relaxing. AMD in the money, Nvidia in the money, $1.50. Peloton waiting for a reload, but again, empty the clip on that one up at the 50 period MA for one of the best trades that I've had today. And look, this is what we talk about, small moves, but big trade. So, you know, you guys are going to be able to see all of this every single day. Look at our positions at the bottom. Again, like I keep saying, you can ask us what our situation is on any stock. We'll tell you because, again, transparency is very, very key.
Yeah, overall, that's what it's all about. As you said, it was AMD was just VWAP, right?
Yeah, and Nvidia.
Both off of VWAP, which you might see on a lot of our charts. Guess what just tanked into VWAP? I'm not making it up because it just happened. As Sean was saying that, Mara tanked into VWAP. That's what I've been long pretty much the entire morning, except for that last little push. It went right into VWAP, which was sitting at 75. I was able to get 84s in here, scalp some to 26. I tried to add on the way back up, but already, like, you wait for the key price to come in, it gives you the bounce. That's what it's all about. You have to be really patient for something like that, though. Very, very patient. We just got something from Brennan on Tesla here. Tesla lowered driving range estimates across its lineup of electric vehicles as the U.S. government vehicle testing regulation takes effect, with the goal of ensuring automakers accurately reflect real-world performance. Maybe that's a little bit of the heaviness there. But also, there's apparently nothing new on Microsoft. That's what Brendan just put in the chat here, and I didn't see anything either. I checked out Benzinga. I don't know if there's something coming through yet, but I didn't see anything on Microsoft. But that's the biggest volume spike of the day just happened on Microsoft, throwing it up about $2 here. It's just pulling back now, but something happened on Microsoft just now. My gut reaction is, hey man, Softy usually pretty strong, holding above, what do we talk about? VWAP, bouncing off the 50 period on the daily. If we get some news here that we like, I mean, a lower high in here, work back into 375 if the market wants to hold green, makes some sense. But just alert to Microsoft. That was the biggest volume spike, bigger than the open on Softy. So I would suspect something just happened. I think we'll keep our ear to the ground to be able to see what that was.
I'm just trying to set it all up because we only have 5 seconds until we go over to the midday. Okay, so JD, yeah, nothing coming through. So JD was a stock that was on our watch list, or on my watch list today, and on the watch list, and it came pretty close, man. We were waiting for that bottom break. We wrote it down here, 24.75, to see if we could break below this. But JD says no to that one. And of course, we traded Alibaba. We traded it quite well. So we're pretty happy with that trade. So just before I leave everybody, because everyone always asks when is what we're doing. So I'm long still on Nvidia. It's $2 in the money. I'm not getting out. I don't have any offers for this one. Hopefully I still have this when we get back at 2 o'clock. AMD, same story, except for AMD, we want to get longer. AMD, we want to come to the screen here, Fabian. AMD, we want to get longer down there at 147, right? The reason why I'm talking about this is that there's very limited trading on the midday show. It's all education. So I just want to give you guys an idea of some of the levels that I'm looking at, okay? So right there, 147. So we do have some more bids coming on AMD if that comes through. Then we are looking in this area to watch the 200 period at 146.80. And then if we're going to be wrong, it's going to be a 146.50 takedown. So that's what we're looking at, man. We've got AMD. Now Nvidia is really rocking. And it's been, again, just such a big trade the last couple of days. We've really made our month just in one day yesterday, and then today again here today. So I hope everyone has really enjoyed the show. Forever ever, come back and join us always. Right now, How to Trade at 11 o'clock with normally Sharif and Adair, but today we've got Obi filling in. I want to thank Obi personally for that as well. So, okay, that was good. Good show.
Great.
Good show. Bunch of good trades.
Just got out
there.
of Uber, by the way.
Just got out of Uber, so that's good. And for a win, I guess. Uber just keeps on ripping.
93s there, so.
I think Uber might have been one that, again, you might have missed the dip buy on that one. Oh, man. Is
They
the
sold
market...
the news on the SP 500 now.
Yeah, what is it? Market's flat or about to get flat, I feel like. All right, midday. It's 11:02. Let's go.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for being here.